It's time for Eastmont Wildcat football on the NCW Life channel. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by The Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth, Collins Fashions, Town Nissan, and Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge. Now let's go to Wildcat Stadium for all the action with Grant Olson and Jay Seebeck.
Good evening and welcome everyone to another exciting season of high school football right here on the NCW Life channel. I'm Grant Olson at Wildcat Stadium as we kick off this season. Tonight joining me is Jay Seebeck. Jay, great to have you with us.
Hey, glad to be here, Grant. First time for my broadcast here on the NCW Life channel, so I'm really excited about this one.
Former Eastmont grad, we might add, and a pretty darn good football player at that.
Well, yeah, you know, back in 2011, we were one of the few teams at Eastmont in recent years that have made it to the playoffs, so that was a pretty fun year, and I'm glad to have been a part of it.
So, Jay, you can remember the feeling, what it's like, first game of the season. There's a lot of excitement out there, isn't there?
Yeah, well, just being the first game of the season, but it's also a home game. So then it gives your fans, everybody, and the students, they're all really excited to be out here, and it's a good time to just get that first game under your belt and being at home. It's quite a big deal.
And you know what a first game it is, as Eastmont plays the defending 3A champion, the Kamiakin Braves, tonight. So if you're going to start off in a season in a non-conference game, I guess this is the one to do it, to really kind of gauge where your team is at right now.
Yeah, well, and one thing to be looking at is that the difference of, who's going to be, juniors versus seniors on both starting lineups, because Kamiakin's bringing only one junior out on their starting offense. So, I mean, that's going to be a big help for them. But I think Eastmont, it's going to be a good opportunity for the seniors, and the juniors are going to be able to then, the juniors will be showing, what they're going to be producing over the next, this year and then the next one. And then it gives the seniors one big last good year to really show what they got, so.
Kamiakin last year finished 8-2, and two of those losses were to 4A powerhouses Chiawana and Richland. Richland ended up going into the championship of 4A. So Kamiakin in the enviable, or maybe unenviable position last year of not winning their conference, but then winning the state title. Kind of different.
Yeah, and when I was playing, I mean, we had Richland, Chiawana, and Kamiakin. We were all in the same division. So, I mean, Kamiakin's got that going for them where they're not having to play those guys in their own league, but.
Good crowd on hand. Should be a lot of fun here tonight. And when we come back as the pregame show continues, we will visit with Eastmont Wildcat head coach Mike Don right after this. Pregame show continues now. We're with head coach Mike Don of the Eastmont Wildcats. And, Coach, nothing like the excitement of the first game of the season, is there?
No, a lot of fun. It's a good time for the kids. All the hours they put in during the off-season, weight room, practice, heat. It comes time where they actually get to go out and have fun and play.
So what are you expecting out of this bunch this year? What are we expecting to see tonight?
I have a nice group of kids this year. These kids really like each other. They get along. We just want to see a group that's going to go out and compete every game and play with the ups and downs of football, be able to take those ebbs and flows because, in football, good and bad things happen, and it's how you react to them.
You're in your third year now. Is there a difference in this bunch of kids than you've seen in the past couple of years, maybe as far as leadership, maturity, that kind of thing?
I think the leadership maturity in this group's a lot better. We spent a lot of time in the off-season working on leadership training with the kids. They'd meet, at least once or twice a month to kind of go over some different leadership things and how to work with guys. And our captains have done a great job taking the team over. Best teams are run by players, not coaches, and this group's getting a lot closer to that.
Any injuries we need to know about going into tonight's game?
Nothing recently. We lost one starter for the season, ACL tear. Wasn't even playing football. It was just playing around. Wasn't even at practice, just kind of tore his ACL, non-contact thing. And that's unfortunate that he doesn't get to play this year. But we got a lot of good kids, and we'll be all right.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Eastmont coach Mike Don, and the pregame show continues right here on NCW Life Channel right after this. Grant Olson and Jay Seebeck back at Wildcat Stadium for the kickoff to the 2017 season as the Eastmont Wildcats take on the defending 3A state champions, the Kamiakin Braves. We do want to mention some other games around the Big Nine tonight. Davis is at Hanford, Pasco at Lamson Stadium to face Ike tonight. Moses Lake, pretty tough go tonight, Jay, as they take on Chiawana at Chiawana, first game of the season. Cheney from the east side is at Sunnyside. Mercer Island visits West Valley tonight. And across the river at the Apple Bowl tonight, a tough opening game for the Wenatchee Panthers, too, as they take on Southridge. That also a 7 o'clock kickoff. So that's going to be a tough start for the Panthers, too.
Well, for both teams here in the Valley, they might have a little bit of an advantage. We got a little bit of the haze coming over here through the valley, so they're a little bit more used to practicing in this kind of conditions, whereas those teams from the Tri-Cities aren't as familiar with it.
It really is. Now let's take a look at our starting lineups tonight, and our starting lineups brought to you by Arctic Refrigeration. We'll begin with the offense for the Kamiakin High School Braves. At quarterback is 6'4", 190-pound senior Peyton Flynn. At one running back is Talmadge Jacobson, who the coach for Kamiakin has just been dying to get a starting job, and he's got it this year, 5'9", 170-pound senior. At one wide receiver, Thane Thomas, a 6'1", 200-pound senior. He'll be joined by Benson Smith, also a senior, 5'11", 165 pounds. Jay, you mentioned this, one junior on the entire offensive starting lineup for these Kamiakin Braves. Colton Cheelin, another wide receiver. He's a senior, 6'1", 180. At tackle, Luke Eskelson, 6'1", 225 pound. Dylan Worster's a senior, 6 feet, 225 pounds. Andrew Miracle is a one guard, 5'10", 215. At the other guard is Mosiah Vergara. He's 5 feet 10, 240 pounds. And at center tonight for Kamiakin, the only junior on the offense, he's 5'10", 225 pounds, Cesar Salas. Head coach of the Kamiakin Braves is Scott Bigland. And now for the homestanding Eastmont Wildcats offensively, quarterback Kalen Massey. He's a 6'2", 170-pound junior. At running back, Jack Knighton showed flashes of really great football playing from the running back position last year. He's not that big, 5'6", 160, but he runs a lot bigger than that. At wide receiver, Ethan Smith, 6'4", 160 pounds. And then a couple of wide receivers that really can play a leadership role on that team. One of them is Devin Snyder, who had a great season last year. He's 6 feet, 190 pounds. And the other, Cameron Scaramazzino, 5'10", 175. Jay, a lot is going to be on these two in this game tonight and throughout the season.
Yeah, and I definitely think that a big key for Eastmont is going to be able to get the running game going, and then that will start opening up opportunities for Schneider, like you had said, and that way he can start fulfilling his role, carry the offense as far as the wide receiver position goes.
Absolutely. David Valavadinos is one tackle at guard. Carson Payne, Clayton Harris is a guard. Brennan Cornell also at tackle. In the center for Eastmont is Braden Johnson. Head coach in his third season for the Wildcats is Mike Don, and we are just about set to go for kickoff here from Wildcat Stadium. Great to have you with us tonight on the NCW Life Channel. Kicking off for for Kamiakin is Caden Shemansky, and back to receive for the Wildcats is Devin Snyder and Cameron Scaramazzino, and here we've got a run right here. It's Scaramazzino, I believe, all the way past the 40, past the 50, into Brave territory at the Kamiakin 48-yard line.
Yeah, really good job of the blockers there, just giving them the lane on that right side to be able to cut it up. And that's just going to be a good way to start off the game for the Eastmont Wildcats, really get the offense going and get them pumped.
And it was Cameron Scaramazzino, one of the players we said would be a big leader on this Wildcat team this year, and he gives Eastmont great field position at the Kamiakin 48-yard line. 1st and 10 now, Wildcats. Once again, quarterback junior Kalen Massey. Behind him, Jack Knighton. Shotgun to begin the game for Massey. Handoff left. It's a fake handoff. Massey will keep it up the middle. Gets across the 45 to about the 44-yard line.
Nice little 7-yard keeper by the quarterback right there.
Really was, and he is brought down by Kamiakin's number 75, Luke Eskelson. So gain of about 5 on first down. 2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats across the Kamiakin 45 at about the 43.5-yard line. Only two receivers split left. Nobody right side. Knighton in the backfield. Massey, the handoff is to Knighton that time, and it's up the middle. Nice play. It's Devin Snyder has an opening up the middle to about the 20-yard line, Jay, and that was a nice deception on that play. It fooled me. Kind of a counter play to a Snyder up the middle and a nice gain, 1st down.
Well, by doing that fake handoff on the first play and the quarterback keeping it, they were looking, the linebackers all bid on that for Kamiakin. They were all thinking he was doing another counter play, but that's when they just double handoff, gets it right in there.
So a nice offensive start for the Eastmont Wildcats now at the Kamiakin 20-yard line. Same formation, Knighton in the background, 2 receivers split out left side. One is Ethan Simpson. Handoff Knighton, and he is tackled in the backfield this time, back across the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that defensive tackle wasn't getting beat again there. He saw that counter play coming.
Boy, and that's a loss of about 8 yards all the way back. to where the Kamiakin 27-yard line, it looks like, maybe 28. That'll bring up second down and about 18 for the Wildcats. Still early first quarter, 10:25 left to go opening period.
Well, they're really keeping the field short to one side with not putting another guy out on the other edge.
A little bit of movement. Ethan Simpson is on the left side in the slot. Scaramazzino, he gets the pass from that slot position, but gang tackled after a short gain of about 2 by the Braves. Boy, the Braves sniffed that out all the way.
Well, it was a little bit of a high snap there, so it was a good job of him just getting it out of his hands in order to get the running back so they didn't take, a sack there.
But Scaramazzino, he's not very big, Jay, but sure exciting as we saw in the opening kickoff, and I think he can be a big play guy for these Wildcats throughout this season, along with Knighton, who has some speed as well.
Yeah, I think the big speed burst capability that Scaramazzino's got is going to be a big key to their offense.
Third down, 18 now, Wildcats. Ball still at the Kamiakin 28-yard line, a drive that began at the Brave 48. Once again, Massey, shotgun formation. 3 receivers split out right side this time. Massey all kinds of time. A wobbly pass right side. In the air, and it's caught. Touchdown, Ethan Simpson. Wildcats with 6.
Well, how about that? They're sitting there 3rd and 18, and they just decide, let's go for the end zone, and they end up getting it like that.
28-yard touchdown pass from Kalen Massey to Ethan Simpson, and the Wildcats stun Kamiakin here on this opening drive as they score first.
Yeah, Kamiakin might be experiencing a little bit of a bus lag coming in from driving down from the Tri-Cities.
That happens a lot, doesn't it, Jay? Especially when you make a trip like that. It's not just like a little jaunt to Moses Lake. It's kind of a trip on the bus for sure.
Well, and then it's also the season opener. So, I mean, this is their first time, strapping it on. So,
Devin Schneider, the holder on this point after try. Manny Lopez, the kicker for the Wildcats. Eastmont trying to get a player on late as he runs onto the field. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage, so it will be no good. 9:27 left to go first quarter. It's Eastmont 6, Kamiakin nothing. We're back in 30 seconds. 9 minutes, 27 seconds left to go first quarter. Eastmont on the board first on a 28-yard touchdown pass from Kalen Massey to Ethan Simpson. The point after attempt was blocked, and that's where we stand. Eastmont 6 and Kamiakin nothing. Kind of a surprise, Jay, and a nice way to start for this homestanding Wildcat team.
Well, yeah, I mean, you really can't start, a season, your opening drive, and you go down, you march it down, you get into a little bit of a jam, and then you end up throwing, a 30-yard TD. So it doesn't get much better than that.
It doesn't. Manny Lopez will kick off for the Wildcats. Back deep for Kamiakin is number 1, Benson Smith, and number 3, Tuna Altahir. Kamiakin in the white uniforms. We kind of likened it to the Kansas City Chiefs, didn't we, Jay? They look a lot like that. Deep kick by Lopez. It goes in and out of the hands of Tuna Altahir and out of bounds. And Kamiakin will begin at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that will make Kamiakin, they're going to have some ground to work. It's not like where Eastmont just returned one to the 45 there.
Yeah, they did start off at the Kamiakin 48-yard line, so a 48-yard scoring drive for the Eastmont Wildcat. It only took them 4 plays. Make that 5 plays and went 48 yards. So Wildcats a great start to this one. Now we'll see what Kamiakin has to offer on offense. Once again, Peyton Flynn, the starting quarterback, and he's a good-sized quarterback out of shotgun, 6'4", 190 pounds, and he comes out flinging left side, complete first down across the 30-yard line to Champ Grayson, the 6'2", 185-pound senior. Sorry, Jay, a gain of 13.
Oh, he just really he kind of did one of those just quick one-step drop and then just really fired it out there. He didn't really hesitate trying to get too much of a read. I think he knew where he was going.
4 receivers in this offensive set. Trips right side. 1 receiver to the short side on the left. Once again, Flynn claps his hands in shotgun, hands it off to his running back. And that's number 5, Talmadge Jacobson. A nice run. And a nice gain again of about 15, maybe 17 yards, all the way up to midfield and the 50.
Well, one thing Eastmont's going to need to do, I mean, even though they started off Kamiakin with getting that big reception, but they're going to need to be able to stop the run and then be able to take a little pressure off their defensive backs.
First down at 10, Braves. Handoff again is to Jacobson. Nothing that time. Stood up at the line of scrimmage and a nice defensive play by the Wildcats, Jaron Schneider, the 5'10", 185-pound linebacker for the Wildcats.
Yeah, their linebackers did a really good job of rallying to the ball there.
Flynn once again shotgun, this time trips left side. Fake handoff, pass on to the left side as Champ Grayson gets a block. Flag comes flying in, close to a first down, gain of about 9 if it stands. And we'll see about that penalty marker. Victor Welton on the stop for the Wildcats.
Well, the Wildcats did get a big hit on the quarterback there, so at least they've gotten to him a little bit here early on.
Well, I think he needs to know that too, Jay Flynn, that he's going to get hit once in a while. He's a big target back there, 6'4", almost 200 pounds, and you got to put pressure on quarterbacks like that. And he is going to go on to Washington State and pitch after his senior year at Kamiakin, so we know this kid can throw.
Well, I might end up making my way back down to the Palouse to go watch him play sometime
Absolutely.
here in the future.
Offensive pass interference is the preliminary call. There it is, and it's against the Braves. That'll move them back. It was close to a first down. Instead now, they will move back across the 50-yard line into their own territory. 8 minutes, 41 seconds left to go opening period. Great to have you along tonight on NCW Life Channel, your home for high school sports throughout the season. And we will have lots of football, volleyball, and soccer for you coming up all this fall and winter on the NCW Life Channel.
One thing I'm looking for is if number 78, the nose tackle, Brandon Johnson, he's got a little bit of a height advantage going against the junior, Cesar Salas, for the center. So he was the one junior on the Kamiakin starting offense. So if he's got that size, he might be able to push him around and then start getting a little bit less organized snaps coming out of Kamiakin's
Well, I'll tell you what,
offense.
Jade, it's obvious who the biggest player out there. It's Braden Johnson, 6'3", 300 for Eastmont. Here we go, second down, 19 for Kamiakin now. Flynn flushed out of the pocket, forced to roll to his right, too high. Pass intended for Champ Grayson. It goes incomplete. And that'll now bring up third down and 19 for the Braves. And you can tell, Jay, that Peyton Flynn, his favorite receiver is going to be Champ Grayson throughout this season. I don't blame him. Big target at 6'3", 185 pounds.
Well, incidentally, the guy who caught that football was Ryan Toller. He was one of the captains on the 2009, I believe, Eastmont squad. I played
Fantastic. Here's Flynn on third down and long now. Airing it out right side, in the air, in the hands of Grayson, and then out, double covered by the Wildcats. It goes incomplete, and how about that? The Wildcats force the Braves to punt on their first possession.
Yeah, that was close to being intercepted right there. He made a good jump on that ball coming from the safety position.
So 5 plays and out for the Kamiakin Braves. As we mentioned, the reigning 3A state champions. By the way, they played in the championship game last year in 14-7 winner over O'Day. That back on December 2nd at the Tacoma Dome. Here's the kick. A wobbler taken at about the 25-yard line by Devin Schneider, but nowhere to run as he is down right at the point where he caught the ball. And that'll be 1st and 10 Eastmont at their own 25-yard line. 8:05 left to go here, first quarter. Decent crowd on hand, and a few more people from Kamiakin way across the way, Jay, than I would expect. But Labor Day weekend, lots of folks traveling. And
well, for a lot of these families, I mean, they're the returning state champions, so they're going to be wanting to travel a lot with this team.
That's
I could
a great
expect
point.
they're getting the party buses going from the high school.
First down and 10 Wildcats at their own 25-yard line. Kalen Massey still in there, quarterback in shotgun. I expect we'll see him there throughout the night. A jump on the defense. Probably a hard count by Massey, the quarterback. And that should give the Wildcats an extra 5 yards. We'll see. And yes, it is against Kamiakin. The second penalty now against the Braves here tonight. An offensive pass interference and now this defensive encroachment.
Well, Kamiakin seems to be a little uneasy on defense so far. I mean, I don't think they were expecting to come out the gates quite like this.
First down and 5 now, Wildcats at their own 30-yard line. High snap, Massey corrals it, hands it off to Knighton. Jukes his way up to about the 30-yard line. Gain of a quick 5 yards for Knighton. It didn't seem like it, but he got 5, and that'll bring up second down and about 4.5, maybe 5 for the Wildcats. Eastmont, 2 receivers split out right side. That's Ethan Simpson and Devin Snyder out there. Knighton in the background. Massey shotgun. Looks like blitz coming from the Braves right up the middle, and it is a blitz. Fake handoff up the middle. Massey rolls to his right. He's going to keep it. Head for that first down marker, and he's going to get it just across the 35 to about the 36. Jay needed 5 and he got 6. Nice run by Massey.
Well, it's just one of those things. You see that linebacker coming right through the middle, and all you can really do is just tuck it and run, and he did the right thing. He just ran away from him. One thing that linebacker should have been doing, you get right through the line like that, and all you can think of is you got to sprint and hit the quarterback. You need to break down and then be able to make a solid tackle so your feet are under control when the quarterback makes that cut.
And do you really want to telegraph the fact that you're going to blitz too, Jay, which he did? We could see it from up here he was coming. Do you really want to do that? Do you want to back off, come up to the line, or how do you want to do that?
Well, certain times it works out because then it keeps the offensive line from being on the same page.
1st and 10, Wildcats, handoff Knighton. It looked like he had nothing. He does manage to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A real good spin move right there to just get back to the line.
Boy, it sure was. He was in the arms of the waiting defensive back, Dylan Crawford, the linebacker, 6'2", 225 pounds. He spun away from him and managed to get back to the line of scrimmage where Eastmont will see 2nd down and 10.
But even right there, that's kind of the same as the play before. Kamiakin's getting in the backfield. They're just not breaking down, not getting low and then trying to make the hit. They're just running through it, which isn't going to work. You're already 5 yards deep.
I think you hit it on the head, Jay. They do look like they have bus legs a little bit lethargic out there to start. It's a little hot to start the game, a little smoky, so we'll see how that affects them moving forward. Handoff Knighton again. No, it's a fake handoff. Massey's going to keep it. Has room up the middle. Tackle around the shoulder pads, and he's dropped it at the 47-yard line. Gain of 12 that time for Massey. Well, he's doing the damage here so far tonight.
Well, one thing about that redraw that he did really well is he let the play develop. He didn't make the decision instantly. He saw that the guys were coming, but they were going towards the running back, so he knew if he kept it, then he'd be able to do that. One guy you see on Sundays that we all like is Russell Wilson. He's a king at being able to do that play-action read.
That's exactly what he did. It was a read draw. He read that he had the opening, and that's what he did. 1st down 10, Wildcats as they approach midfield once again. Massey's shotgun. Handoff, double reverse instead to Devin Schneider. Handoff was to Knighton, who then handed it off to the receiver. Schneider up the middle, another 1st down up to the 41 of Kamiakin.
Well, the O-line's doing a really good job of stopping them up front on these run plays, and then with it being so much misdirection in the backfield, it makes it really hard as a linebacker. This is their first game as the Kamiakin linebacking core, so they're not used to seeing that much misdirection so much early on.
Timeout is called by the Kamiakin Braves. I think they want to talk this over, kind of on their heels a little bit. 6:17 left to go first quarter. It's Eastmont 6, Kamiakin nothing. We're back with more from Wildcat Stadium after this. And Jay, I think that was more of a regrouping effort than anything else right there. Kamiakin a little bit back on their heels.
It's just like in basketball, and even out of the timeout, there they go.
Another mental error, and I think a hard count by Massey has really kind of thrown him off a little bit. But you'd think they would practice that at various times or learn not to jump on a hard count, but they fell for it for the 2nd time tonight, and that'll once again bring up 1st down and 5 for the Wildcats. Ball now at the 36-yard line at Kamiakin.
Well, Eastmont's doing a really good job of keeping the momentum at their pace that they want, and so Kamiakin's having to adjust the way that they want to play football to Eastmont's way.
You hit it right on the head, I think, Jay, early in this first quarter. It's Eastmont's pace all the way right now, and they'd love to keep it just like this. Fake blitz or a possible blitz by Kamiakin. Quarterback Massey looks over for some help from Coach Mike Don. 7 seconds on the play clock for Eastmont. 6:17 left to go first quarter. Handoff Jack Knighton, left side, cuts it back up the middle of the field. Nice run across the 30 to the 29. We got a flag down at around the 37-yard line. That's about the line of scrimmage. This could be a 1st down if it stands, and it's a holding call against the Wildcats. First penalty of the night.
Yeah, that was really too bad. The right guard, left guard, Andrew Miracle, he came in and he made a really nice block there, pulling from the right side and being able to block one of those coming in safeties, I believe.
So Eastmont goes from a 1st and 5 now to a 1st and 15. The ball moved back to the Brave 47-yard line. Eastmont home red uniforms. Black pants, that's a little different this year, isn't it, Jay? Aren't they normally white with a little bit of blue and red down the sides, but black this year?
Yeah, well, when we always used to play, it was either the red or the whites or maybe even the occasional blues. But, yeah, these new jerseys, since the time I played, they look really sharp.
Massey shotgun. Fake handoff to Knighton. Massey's going to keep it up the middle. It's been working all this quarter, as it does once again. A nice gain of about 6 yards for the quarterback, Massey. Close to the Kamiakin 40-yard line. We'll give him 6 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down and about 10.
Well, what Massey did there is he's looking right at that left end who just came around the corner, and he saw him coming full steam, so he just kept it because otherwise he was going to leave his running back open for a big hit.
Scaramazzino and Simpson, left side. Devin Snyder close to the line on the right side. Knighton in the backfield with Massey, who's in shotgun. 2nd and 10. Ball at the Kamiakin, 40.5, maybe 41-yard line. Coach Don calling plays from the sideline as Massey looks over.
Eastmont's got a lot of field to work with on that right side. They're kind of bunching down here on the left.
And now we've got a stoppage and a delay of game called on the Wildcats. It looked like confusion, Jay. You said it.
Well, you know, when you're on the left hash like that and you've got no receivers out to the right, it really limits your ability to use the full length of the field.
2nd down, 15 now, as we've gone back and forth across this original line of scrimmage a couple of times with 4:55 left to go first quarter, and Eastmont on top, 6-0. Simpson comes near side now to the left. Scaramazzino off to the right. Once again, Snyder in the slot right side with Jack Knighton in the backfield. Massey shotgun, takes the snap, has time, a little bit of a drop, swing pass out, screen pass to Knighton, gets past the 50-yard line, but is grabbed just behind the line of scrimmage. I think a loss of about 1 on that play, and it looks like Kamiakin's defense is kind of stiffening up here a little bit now, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're starting to remember, you know, what it's like to be out there playing football after, you know, taking the year off. So they're going to start getting it going here in a minute.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 16 for the Eastmont Wildcats at the Kamiakin 47-yard line.
Well, the last time Eastmont was in this position on their last drive, they ended up throwing it and getting a touchdown.
Almost exactly the same spot, 48-yard touchdown pass. This the 2nd possession of the ball game for Eastmont. Massey's rolling left this time, throwing against his body as a right-handed quarterback, and just throws it away as receiver Simpson fell down.
Well, there was a little bit of contact there. I think it was incidental on both sides, so you don't think you could call a flag on that for impeding his progress.
So it looks like that will end this drive for the Wildcats after 8 plays on this drive and took up a big chunk of the first quarter score clock.
Well, one good thing about keeping the ball on the offensive side is it gives your defense time to get rested and then be ready to go. But, you know, a lot of these teams, you know, being in high school sports, you play both sides of the football. So ends up, you know, you get worn out by the time you finish a varsity football game if you're playing both sides.
Manny Lopez, also the punter, as well as the kickoff guy. He will be kicking off to number 17, Champ Grayson, who stands back at the Brave 15-yard line. Snaps good. Here's the kick by Lopez. Nice spiral. Grayson runs up on it, catches it at about the 12. He stays up that left side. Nice tackle as he crosses the 20 down to about the 22-yard line. In on that stop, Dominic Torres for the Wildcats, 5'7", 170-pound sophomore. So Kamiakin takes over on offense, 2nd time tonight. 5 plays and punt the first time Kamiakin had the football.
Well, they got a lot of grass to go before they hit the end zone, so they're going to just – I mean, if this doesn't end up being a scoring drive, what you really want to do on offense here as Kamiakin is just put together a couple of first downs and really just start accessing the rest of your playbook.
Peyton Flynn, shotgun, handoff up the middle this time, and a nice run across the 35-yard line. And that'll be a gain of about 12 and a first down to the 36 on that run by Talmadge Jacobson.
Yeah, the O-line for Kamiakin there, they did a good job of getting their initial block, and then once they had that, then moving up the field into the linebackers in the secondary for Eastmont.
So first down on the first play of this drive for the Braves. Handoff again, flag is down. It's Jacobson again. He's got one man to beat in the secondary. It's Snyder, and Snyder gets him around the ankles and drops him right at midfield at the 50-yard line. That would be a first down, but the flag is in the backfield, and that's usually an offensive penalty,
I think
Jay.
they had an illegal motion going on there. You saw the wide receiver running through the backfield. I think that he might have had to be set in order for that play to work out.
And that's Chase Kissel. He's the one that's kind of upset. He might have been the man that did it. You're exactly right, Jay, and that will negate that first down to midfield for the Braves, and we'll move them back now on first down.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's a drive killer right there. Even though it was on first down, I mean they still got a full set of downs, but when you pick up a first down like that and then have it come back, that really takes the wind out of your sails on offense.
Instead of 1st and 10 at midfield, Jay, now it's 1st and 15 back at their own 31-yard line. There's the difference right there with 3:22 clock rolling here, first quarter. Once again, Flynn in shotgun, 3 receivers right side. Flynn claps his hands, now changes the plays. The coaches look on from the sideline. In motion, Jacobson just from one side to the other. Fake handoff to Jacobson. Pass up the middle, nicely done. It's Benson Smith.
He dropped it.
He did drop it. You're right, Jay. A fortunate drop for the Eastmont Wildcats. That would have been almost a first down up to the 46. Instead, incomplete. And that brings up 2nd down and 15.
Well, what Flynn saw there is he had his receiver in coverage with the linebacker, and the linebacker wasn't really turning with him, so he hit him right on that backside of the shoulder, which opened it up. He just couldn't come up with the catch.
Really a nice play, though, wasn't it? Thane Thomas split out right side along with Champ Grayson. Flynn back to pass again, all kinds of time. Now flushed out of the pocket, backs up on his heels, and then just throws it into the Kamiakin bench. That'll go incomplete and bring up 3rd down.
Well, Eastmont's at least getting the pressure. So far, what we've seen from Flynn, if he gets that, he's kind of like that Tom Brady look where if he can just take that 1 or 2 steps and then sling it, he's going to do all right. But when he starts taking his time to try to read the defensive coverage, it isn't working out.
And initially,
so well.
Jay, I think you got to give the defensive backs for Eastmont credit. There was nobody open that forced Flynn to kind of throw that one away.
And Kamiakin's always been a pass-heavy offense, so being able to cover up on these receivers is going to be pretty good testament to their capability.
4 receivers in this set. Once again, the pass is to Grayson across the 35. Tries to make a move upfield. He can. He's tackled by a host of Wildcats. We think he will be anyways. He crosses the 40 to about the 42. That'll be a gain of about 10, but still short of a first down.
That's good defensive coverage there because that they're going to try to pick up the first down, obviously, but keeping them inside and having the receiver cut back to the inside rather than getting on the outside really helps being able to
Looks like they're going for it, Jay. 4th down and 4. Ball at their own 42-yard line.
They might be just trying to get a offsides, trying to get a hard count here, trying to get somebody to jump.
Talmadge Jacobson in the background. 2 receivers right, 2 left, and they are going for it. Here's Flynn across the middle. He has a receiver, and that is good enough for a first down. Colton Sheelan, 6'1", 180-pound receiver on the reception. Needed 5, got about 7. And that will be a Kamiakin first down. I got to say, by Coach Biglin, that is a gutsy call here in this first quarter.
Well, it's one of those things that Sheelan did really well there. Instead of trying to turn it upfield as he was catching, he just made sure he caught it because he had the yardage.
Flynn rolls left this time, has plenty of time, throws it way downfield left side. Grayson, it's a jump ball, and it's intercepted by Snyder at the 15, the 30-yard line. Has some room right side across the 35. Flag comes down, and Devin Schneider is dropped at about the Eastmont 38-yard line.
Looks like we might have an Eastmont player banged up down there. Oh, he's looking all right. You get that first hit of the year, it's always going to ring your bell a little bit, but then after that, you're generally pretty good.
So a nice turnover for the Wildcats at this juncture of the ball game. Kamiakin moving the ball a little bit on offense. 1:51 now left first quarter. And I think, Jay, if you'd have told Coach Don before this game that with 1:51 left in the first quarter, you're up 6-0, he would have taken that.
Oh, most definitely. And that's just about as good a way you can start a football game coming here at home as a season opener.
So Eastmont, the penalty was on the Wildcats on that interception return, so that will move them back to their own 19, and that's where the Wildcats will start here on this 3rd drive of the first half, or the first quarter, I should say, for Eastmont. Of course, the first drive, 5 plays, 48 yards, highlighted by a 28-yard touchdown pass from Massey to Simpson. 8 plays, I should say, Jay, on that last possession, but then a punt for the Wildcats. So we'll see what they can do here on drive number 3 with 1:51 left first quarter.
Well, it looked like there was some type of call against the defense there, and so one of those things, it goes back to discipline on defense. You get the big play, but then you kind of, you don't make a clean block and that kind of thing. You maybe block somebody in the back, or you don't make, you kind of hit them. That's one of those things defensive guys, they just got to be a little more disciplined than that.
Massey's shotgun, handoff, Jack White. No, it's a fake, and Massey's going to keep it again. That read draw, is that what you called that, Jay?
Yep.
It's been working all this first quarter for the Wildcats, and another 12 yards on first down for Massey. And that'll give Eastmont a first down.
That read draw, it's really hard to defend, especially early on in the season when you haven't gotten a lot of looks because it's just so much misdirection. And, with football, it comes down to your first step. So if you're going to the right side but the ball ends up to the left, all your momentum is already going the wrong way as a linebacker.
And as linemen, you really have to stay disciplined, don't you? You really don't know who has the ball, whether it's the running back or the quarterback. Just do your job.
Yep, stay to your lane.
1st and 10, pass too high and almost picked off, in and out of the hands of Ethan Simpson. The pass just slightly high, probably should have been caught, and was almost caught by a defender. And that was number 12, Cannon Niefenegger, 5'10", 165-pound senior. Looks like we've got a procedure call against the Wildcats. Didn't see that flag initially, Jay, but that'll cost the Wildcats 10 yards.
Well, they'll get. Oh, it looks like it's only a
5 yards,
but they're still
procedure
first down
penalty. That's right. First game of the season. I'll get my rules down eventually. So first down and 15 now for Eastmont as the ball is moved back to their own 28-yard line.
Well, one thing about the rules is that, when you're watching high school, it's different than when you watch it on TV watching college, and then even different when you watch it on Sunday.
They're all a little bit different, aren't they? You want real different, watch the CFL. Massey's shotgun. 2 receivers left side. Schneider on the right. Handoff this time is to Knighton. Cuts it back up the middle from the right side. Nice job of running as he crosses the 30 and gets all the way up to the 34-yard line. Gain of about 5 for Knighton. Not quite back, I don't think, to the – yeah, he did go past the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up second down and 9. Clock moving still, under a minute now left to go here in this first quarter. Now it stops as the officials, I think, let a player come off the field and another one on. I don't know if it's an injury for one of the Kamiakin players. Looking at his right leg a little bit on that far sideline.
Yeah, it's one of those little stingers you get in the first game. He won't be feeling that by the time the 5th week of the season comes around.
And as you know, Jake, cramps can also be an issue when it's hot like this.
Well, you're just not in condition to be playing, a full game of football quite yet.
Massey's shotgun will keep it up the middle. Doesn't get much that time. Crosses the 35 to about the 36. Gain of 2. That'll bring up third down and about 7 now for Eastmont. Clock continues to move as we approach 30 seconds left to go in this first quarter. And Eastmont will have to run another play before the end of this quarter, or will they? Yes, they will.
They got a couple seconds difference here.
Massey in shotgun. 2 receivers right side. Devin Snyder once again hugging that line of scrimmage on the left. More of a tight end position right now with Knighton in the backfield. Massey stands at his own 30-yard line. Play action to Knighton. Doesn't give it to him. And now he's in some trouble trying to break left. Does get a great block across the 40 and then drug out of bounds at the Eastmont 42, which will be about 2 yards shy.
They'll probably bring the
chains out. Of a force down, they will bring the chains out, I think, Jay. 2.5 seconds left to go first quarter. Don't know if it'll be close enough to measure or not. About a yard, it looks like, shy from here, doesn't it?
Well, that official over on the other side of the field, he's looking right on that line.
Boy, that is awfully close. A pretty good spot for Massey as he went out of bounds as well. Coach Don looking across the field at those markers, too. If there's a question like this, then you should measure, really.
Yep.
Doesn't look like they will, though, and that'll should bring up fourth down for the Wildcats and about, half a yard, maybe a foot to go is all.
Well, you see the O-line, they're signaling for something down there. I think they want to push them back and try to get this little yard here. It's going to be a big win for the offensive line if they take it.
And I think it's a good idea to call timeout for Coach Don and think about this a little bit. Even though you're about at quarter break, you might as well talk this over. 2.5 seconds left to go first quarter. Our score, Eastmont 6, Kamiakin nothing. We're back quick in 30 seconds. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium. 2.5 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Decision time for Eastmont Wildcat head coach Mike Don. It looks like he's made up his mind. Wildcats are going for it here on 4th and about 4 inches.
Going from it under center.
And Massey will be under center, as Jay mentioned. Unusual. Like they're just going to make a push up the middle, and they will. And I don't know if he's going to get there. A second effort looks like he should have got there. A flag comes down as well all the way across the field. That's an odd place for a flag to fly on a play like that. Let's see what this call is. It looks like they're going to stop his forward progress, Jay, right at the 48-yard or 44 or 3-yard line, I mean. And it's going to be on the Wildcats, and this will change the mind of the Wildcats real quick now.
Yeah, they'll be looking to punt this one.
4th down and 5 with that penalty. And Manny Lopez trots onto the field to punt it away for the Wildcats. Boy, it would have been exciting to see him get that. Momentum would have definitely stayed on the Wildcats side as the first quarter comes to an end. Zeros on the clock. I don't know if the referee did just see that. You're going to put 2.5 seconds back on the clock, which is the right call.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those plays on those QB sneaks. If you're a lineman and you end up getting that first down, it feels so good because you know that you just push them for that 1 yard, and it means a lot.
Lopez to kick, stands at his 25-yard line. Champ Grayson back at the Kamiakin 30 to receive this punt. Beautiful spiral kick that drops at the 15, still rolling inside the end zone. Unfortunate for the Wildcats there and very lucky for Champ Grayson as Kamiakin now will get the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. We'll keep it here during this possession change. And Jay, the 20-yard line, the 24, and now the 20 again for Kamiakin. And I think that's the way Eastmont would want to keep it here the rest of this half.
Well, you can't emphasize enough on how much important special teams play in a game like this, because you're never going to be able to get those big starting drives. You know how Eastmont started off the game, starting on the 45 of Kamiakin. I mean, that's a big start to an offensive drive. But if you pin a team back, behind their 20, they're going to have a difficult time taking it 80 yards to get into the end zone.
And here we are in quarter break, Jay. What's surprising you the most right now? The way the Eastmont offensive play is playing, or the way the Eastmont defense is playing?
Well, the defense has been doing a good job of keeping the offensive wide receivers on Kamiakin from breaking away too much, and then for the offense for Eastmont, they're doing a really good job of keeping the linebackers from seeing what they're doing. The misdirection has really paid off so far, and we'll see if here in the quarter if there makes any different changes on defense for Kamiakin, but they'll definitely be doing something different after halftime.
I'm surprised that Kamiakin isn't using their receivers a little more, because they have a height advantage, Jay, a big height advantage. There's two defensive backs for Eastmont, 5'5" and 5'6", where Kamiakin has two receivers, 1'6", 1'6". You might see that a little more over the middle, where they just use their bodies and their height to maybe get some position as this game progresses, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm just about guarantee you Coach Biglin and the Braves are a little bit surprised themselves right now after this first quarter.
Well, what they're going to want to start doing is going to be doing some quick drops at quarterback, and then just trying to hit one of their guys about 7 or 8 yards down, slant across the middle. That's going to be where they're going to find a lot of success, because it's going to be a mismatch for the safeties to come up trying to cover those big wide receivers.
So 1st down and 10 Braves. They'll be at their own 20-yard line as the teams change ends of the field. Kamiakin will now go right to left on your TV screen. Eastmont left to right as we make our way through this second period. 12 minutes to go here. Second quarter just underway. As once again, Peyton Flynn, the quarterback, the 6'4", 190-pounder, hands it off this time to Talmadge Jacobson. He has room right side. Flag is down, though. It might be a holdover there on that far side.
The wide receiver just tackled the cornerback on that side of the field.
That's why he had so much running room over there. In fact, he would have gained about 18 yards on that run. But
yeah, he took him almost all the way back to the track on that one. Pretty sure he's going to get a holding call there.
So that should bring up 1st down and 20 now for the Kamiakin Braves, the defending 3A state champions from last year. As we mentioned, kind of an oddity. They didn't win their division, but then won the state title, and it is a holding call on the Braves.
Well, as a wide receiver, you don't necessarily need to be blocking like that. You could just as easily just run the little go route and make the corner chase you.
It isn't the goal, Jay, as a receiver, just to stand up the defender, not really take him out, just kind of engage him, right?
Yeah. But, that might get him a little bit of a little advantage going down the road, and, gets the cornerback a little ready to get hit.
Well, that's true, too. 1st down and 20 now for the Braves as they go all the way back to their own 10-yard line. Peyton Flynn will stay in shotgun. Claps his hands it off to Jacobson again, cuts it back up the middle, and gets up to about the Kamiakin 18 to 19-yard line.
It's a big pickup on 1st down when you're on 1st and 20.
Yeah, that'll be a solid gain of about 9 yards for Kamiakin on 1st down. Jacobson, he's a nice little runner. As I mentioned, Coach Biglin mentioned that he's been kind of waiting in the wings the last couple of years.
Well, he's not too tall of a guy, so he got real nice and low and then really hit that hole hard.
Flynn, shotgun, fake handoff. He's going to keep it this time, just big like Massey did. He took a big hit behind the line of scrimmage. I didn't catch the number for Eastmont there, but that was a big shot for the Wildcats. I believe it was 48 Christian Tonga.
Yeah, he came in there. I mean, the wide receiver didn't make a good block on him, and he just went right after the quarterback. But as you saw there, I mean, this goes back to kind of the disciplines of breaking down. You had the whole Eastmont defensive line. They got in the backfield, and then they just kept running. They didn't break down and start sliding like you need to.
3rd down and 11 now for the Braves. Flynn, shotgun, pass over the middle. It's caught, almost picked off, and this will be a 1st down instead of an interception. How did that happen? Colton Chillen.
Looked like he got a hand on it, and then maybe it popped up a little bit for the wide receiver to get a second chance at the ball.
And the pass was behind the receiver, so a nice catch by Chillen all the way up to the Kamiakin 35-yard line. Be a gain of about 13. That on 3rd down. Now 1st down for the Braves. Flynn, handoff. Jacobson up the middle. Not much happening there. Maybe a gain of 2 or 3 yards. A host of Eastmont defenders in on that stop.
Well, that was a little bit of a different formation there for Kamiakin. They went with the running back and halfback in the backfield on the shotgun and the split. So a little bit of a different look. Maybe Eastmont, I mean, they were fairly well prepared for it, only a 4-yard pickup.
Brennan Cornell rather on the stop for the Wildcats. Second down and about 6. Ball is on the ground, picked back up. Good heads-up play by the Braves. Didn't catch the number on that, but it was kind of a miscommunication there, a loss of 2 on the play.
Well, one of those things where the running back started running before he got the football.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 9. On that run for Kamiakin is Tuna Alta here, 5'11", 170-pound. You ready, Jay? Freshman for Kamiakin. Number 3. Here's Flynn back to pass out of shotgun. Tons of time. Looks over the middle. Has a receiver. Boy, it looked like he might have been there a little bit early, Jay, and that's what the receiver's saying right now as well, and it looked like that from here. I don't know what you saw, but incomplete nevertheless.
It's one of those things. It hit the ball hit the receiver right in the numbers, so, I mean, that was a catchable ball. I don't think complaining to the refs is going to get you too much love here.
Boy, it doesn't look like Kamiakin's in any rush to punt this one away again either. They went for it on 4th down in the first quarter and got it. Looks like they will bring the punting unit on this time, though.
Eastmont should be looking to get the ball in pretty good field position here.
So Kamiakin will punt it away. Punter is Christian Ramos. Back deep is Scaramazino and Devin Snyder for the Wildcats. Ramos with the kick, a booming kick, wobbling spiral that's taken at about the 20 by Snyder and nowhere to go. What a tackle. Nicely done that time. Number 11 for Kamiakin is Chase Kissel, the 6-foot senior on coverage and special teams for the Braves. So Eastmont, their 4th possession of this football game with 9:39 left to go, second quarter. The ball will be spotted right at the Eastmont 20-yard line. Once again, Kalen Massey at quarterback for the Wildcats. Jack Knighton is the running back. Scaramazino and Devin Snyder, the receivers, along with number 5, Ethan Simpson. 1st and 10, Wildcats moving left to right on your screen. It's 9:39 left to go, second quarter. Decent crowd on hand on this Labor Day holiday weekend. In fact, good crowd here at Eastmont on a beautiful night. Here's the play, the handoff. It's a misdirection up to about the 25-yard line. Might have been Snyder from his wide receiver position, was it, Jay?
Yeah, he came back over, and that's just them reading that read and misdirection there. It's still keeping Kamiakin off on their heels.
6 yards on that carry for Devin Snyder, who may be the leading rusher right now for the Wildcats. On this 2nd down and 4, once again, Massey in shotgun. He's been there all of the game. 2 receivers split left, tight formation for the Wildcats. Massey fakes left, goes down the field left, it's Scaramazino. Field ahead of him, 40, 30-yard line, 20, it's a foot race, 10. And he is caught from behind down at the 8-yard line.
That was a foot race right there. That was some speed from both sides.
What a pass, Massey to Scaramazino. That pump fake really froze the defensive back down that left sideline. Scaramazino didn't stop running, was wide open. And a big, big play all the way down to the Kamiakin 9-yard line.
That was a bullet of a pass. I mean, it was right on the money. It could have been stride.
66 yards on that play. And it's 1st down and goal now for the Wildcats inside the Kamiakin 10. Massey's shotgun. Once again, read draw, keeps it, but maybe should have handed it off that time, as that'll be a loss of about 3, maybe 4 yards. They're going to call it about 2 as forward progress.
There was a little bit of possibly a little miscommunication between him and the running back. It looked like they both kind of wanted the football there.
Still 2nd and goal, but the ball outside the 10 at about the 12-yard line. Clock continuing to move. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left to go before halftime. Wildcats lead at 6-0, looking for more here in this second quarter. Massey's shotgun with Knighton to his left. Once again, read draw. Massey's going to keep it, and it looks like Kamiakin now, Jay, is kind of starting to figure this play out a little bit.
Well, they've seen it about 10 times so far, so they're going to start picking up a little cues from the offensive linemen. They're going to start seeing which way they're blocking and being able to adjust on the fly.
So a loss of 2 the first time, loss of 3 on that play. So 5 yards back. It was first down and goal from the 9. Now third down and goal from the 16-yard line.
Now, if I was calling the plays, I'd probably be looking to hit somebody in the end zone in one of the corners and just, either you get it or you don't, but it still leaves yourself in pretty decent field goal range.
A little bit of confusion on the Wildcats where to line up on this play. Schneider is in slot right side. Simpson split out far left. Massey at quarterback. Handoff goes. No, it's not to Knighton. It's up the middle. There's that counter again to Schneider. That's been working tonight. Inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6, and we'll bring, I think, the field goal unit on for the Wildcats. It will. So 4th and goal for Eastmont. And on to do the kicking is Manny Lopez, does all the kicking for the Wildcats. Or will they try a field goal here? I don't see Lopez out there. There's Schneider kneeling down. He's the holder. Now Lopez will step it off.
Well, the PAT got blocked earlier, so make sure that the line here is going to need to make sure they hit the Kamiakin defenders, make sure they can't get the hands up in the air.
Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. 27-yard attempt. Once again, Snyder the holder.
Missing a man.
Pardon me?
They're missing a guy out there on the field. They're going to call a timeout.
Boy, Coach Don is hot on the sideline. A timeout will be called, Jay. 6:26 left to go, second quarter. Our score, the Eastmont Wildcats 6 and the Kamiakin Braves nothing. Back to Wildcat Stadium after this. 6 minutes, 26 seconds left to go, second quarter. It's Eastmont 6, Kamiakin nothing. Eastmont trying for some more points here. A field goal attempt from about 27 yards out. Manny Lopez will do the kicking for Eastmont. Devin Snyder, the holder. Snyder counting players this time as he's out there. So we'll see what Lopez can do here from 27 yards out. Left hash, bad snap. Schneider had to corral it. Now he's in trouble. Throws it across the field back to Lopez. Lopez can't do anything with it, and he is dropped at the 19.
Well, that sure was exciting. I don't think that's exactly what they wanted to be happening there, though.
So Kamiakin will have it right there at their own 19-yard line. No, so Eastmont now comes away with nothing on that possession. And Kamiakin will have the ball, as I mentioned, at their own 19. It was a nice job by Snyder, Jay, just to corral that snap. Kind of one-handed it, tried to get it down. Lopez was already making his way to kick the ball, and then it was too late, and that play was busted.
I think I've seen back in the day when we used to have, Hoshka and John Ryan out there on the Seahawks. They had a few of those kind of plays that ended up.
Yeah, they did. Peyton Flynn's shotgun. Handoff this time is to, I believe, the freshman. Let's see, number 3 at Tuna Alta here. 5'11", 170-pound freshman. Good little runner. Picks up about 6, maybe 7 on that first down. Make it, 9 rather. Boy, he's kept those legs going, didn't he?
If you're the head coach for Kamiakin, you're really happy to see your freshman getting in there.
Here's Alta here again. Tuna. Good run left side, 40-yard line. Drops the ball, but it goes out of bounds on the Eastmont sideline, and they'll mark it at the 41.
Well, that's one thing that Eastmont might need to take advantage of is they keep handing the ball. That's the second time he's kind of given a fumble, but it hasn't, turned over.
So second down and 2, flag down on the field. It was a late flag. I didn't see it. Holding is called on Kamiakin. So that nice run by Alta here will get taken away, and the Braves will move back a little bit with 5:50 now left to go before halftime. Hazy, smoky night here in the Wenatchee Valley.
Yep. Well, they got the lights on now, so you're starting to see the shadows on the players.
I'm guessing it was about 88 degrees at kickoff, 86. It's about 106 up in this booth, just so everybody knows that. Here we go, second down and 4. Handoff again, Alta here, and he's got room right side. He turns on the speed, midfield, 45, 40. And the Eastmont defensive backs finally bring him down right at the Wildcat 40-yard line.
For a freshman, he's got pretty good running style. I mean, he's getting some nice long strides there, really utilizing the ability to, turn up the field and make some speed going down the way. 40
yards on that run by the freshman Tuna Alta here. And Kamiakin for the first time, I believe, tonight in Eastmont territory at the 45. Flynn back to pass. Receivers knocked down. No call again. Finally a flag. Now another one comes in. Both of them very late, but the official standing right there didn't throw a flag.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting calls. You know, how does the guy from 25 yards away see it better than the guy from a couple feet away?
That's amazing. That was a great example of that right there. The side judge threw the first flag.
I think that was the right call, though.
It was.
He hit him pretty early.
And I think that might be the second time the Wildcats got away with that, or almost got away with it.
Well, it was on the same receiver as the
It
time
was.
earlier.
And that'll move the ball all the way up to the Eastmont 25-yard line, where the Braves will be 1st and 10 now, with just under 5.5 minutes to play in this second quarter. Trips left this time. Flynn shotgun. Alta here, the freshman, will stay in the backfield. Counter play, left, then goes right side. Tries to get some yards inside the 25. Might pick up 2 to about the 23. Once again, good play defensively by Christian Tonga. He's made a few plays tonight, the junior linebacker. He's a big one too, Jay. 6'1", 260 pounds. Second down, 9. Pass left side at Champ Grayson. Had a block. Tried the middle of the field. Cuts back left side. Still on his feet. The 10. Inside the 10. 5. And is brought down finally at the 4-yard line. 21 yards on that play. And all of that, Champ Grayson.
Well, it's one of those plays where, you know you have your blocking down the field with your wide receivers and then, on the screen. But he did a really good job of letting those blocks develop. He didn't try to force it. He let the blocks, get into their blocks and then read it and then make the cut.
And Coach Don, I believe, wants timeout, and he does. We'll take one as well. 4 minutes, 57 seconds left to go, second quarter. Eastmont 6, Kamiakin nothing. We're back with more after this. 4 minutes, 57 seconds left to go before halftime. Eastmont leading 6-0. It's a tenuous lead, though, right now as the ball first down and goal at the 4-yard line for Kamiakin. Flynn, the hand. I think we had some movement up on the offensive line for the Braves.
Bit of a quick snap. I don't think anybody was ready for that other than the quarterback and center.
Boy, that freshman stayed in there, Jay. Tuna Alta here, number 3, has been just really fantastic in this second quarter.
Well, it's a good way to start off your freshman season and getting some good carries and getting some good yardage. So
that penalty's on Eastmont, Jay, encroachment.
Put him right on the 2 or 3 yard line.
It'd be half the distance. I believe it was at the 4, so you're right. That should be on the 2 then. Yep, first down, ball on the 2-yard line. Goal line stand here for the Wildcats. Here's Alta here. Just dances into the end zone, didn't get touched. Touchdown, Kamiakin.
Well, we said something about, there only being one junior on the starting offense for Kamiakin, but then they put in the freshman, and here he's off to the races and getting in the end zone.
So 6-6 right now. Kamiakin can take the lead with his point after try. The kicker is Caden Szymanski for the Braves. 6-6, as I mentioned. 4:53 left to go, second quarter. Szymanski, as I mentioned, will be the kicker. Snaps good, hold down, kick is up, a line drive. It's through and good. 4:53 left to go, second quarter. It's now Kamiakin 7, Eastmont 6. We're back with more football from Wildcat Stadium right after this. Wildcat Stadium, Grant Olson along with Jay Seebeck. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left to go, second quarter. Kamiakin has now taken their first lead of the night on a 2-yard run by Tuna Alta here. Point after attempt good, and Kamiakin leads it 7-6.
I would expect that the special teams coach for Kamiakin is telling his guys to break down and make sure they stay in their lanes on this. They don't want to give up another 40-yard return.
6 plays and 81 yards on that drive for Kamiakin. Here's the kick. Back to receive. Scaramazzino has it in his hands and then drops it, picks it up at the 5-yard line, tries to get away. Now he's in trouble. That's usually what happens on a little bit of a delay like that, and Eastmont will kind of start in a hole now inside their own 15-yard line. Make that the 10-yard line.
Well, he tried to catch it backpedaling and then trying to reverse his speed, and when you're trying to do that much and try to catch a kick, it's very hard to do, and that's where the fumble came in.
Looks like the ball will be placed at, the 9? 9 of the Wildcats. So Eastmont first down and 10 at their own 9-yard line. They have a lot of time still, 4:48 to put a drive together here in this second quarter to try and retake this lead, now down by 1.
Yeah, I think they're going to still have to stick to that misdirection on that read play, and they can't go away from it. So they got the time. They can start chipping away at this long field.
Junior quarterback Kalen Massey still in there in shotgun. Here's the snap. Once again, that read draw, and it's a keeper up the middle. I don't believe that is Massey, is it? I think it's a different quarterback now. We'll have to check on that. Yeah, it was number 7, Jay. And that is Clayton Harris.
Well, you wonder if he's in there to run or if they're trying to do a 2-quarterback thing.
Interesting. Gain of 2 on that run. 2nd down and 8 now for the Wildcats. As once again, Clayton Harris stays in there. Harris, as we mentioned, number 7. In fact, it's Cole Warren is who it is, 6 foot, 160-pound junior. Throw out to the left. I was looking down. Thank you, Jay. Pass goes incomplete, almost intercepted. And that'll bring up now 3rd down and a long 8.
Well, it's one of those plays when you got a wide receiver running a slant, you can't hit him on that backside because you're going to be asking for trouble. You got to lead the receiver in that situation.
So it's Cole Warren in there now at quarterback for the Wildcats. He is the backup quarterback, 6'1", 160-pound junior. Don't know what the deal with Massey is. I see him on the sideline down here, Jay. Or is he down here in front of us?
I've been looking for him. I haven't spotted him. I wonder if he's in that defensive huddle or something.
So Warren, there was a whistle on that snap, and it looks like procedure on the Wildcats on a 3rd down and a long 8. It is. So that'll be half the distance, I believe, since the ball was at the 9-yard line. And that'll bring it back to the 6. So 3rd down for the Wildcats and about 13 now. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in this 2nd quarter. Cole Warren remains at quarterback in shotgun. Fake handoff to Knighton. He looks right and goes to Knighton. Boy, he was tied up at the line of scrimmage. It looked like by a lineman, Jay. Kind of just making his way down the line for Kamiakin and ended up covering the running back. He did a pretty nice job.
Well, it's Dylan Crawford. I've been seeing him at the linebacker position. He's been doing a good job of coming out on the flats and covering those running backs who are trying to run that out route.
That was kind of an ugly drive that time by Eastmont. 4 plays, Jay. 2 yards on the first play and then 0, 0, and 0.
And they didn't take off very much clock, so Kamiakin's going to get it here in good field position with a lot of time to try to soak up that clock, get a nice drive, and then try to put one in the end zone.
Manny Lopez will be on for the Wildcats to punt, and he is all the way back in his end zone. Back to receive for Kamiakin is Champ Grayson, I believe.
Wouldn't be surprised if Kamiakin came in and tried to block this one.
It is Grayson as he stands at about the 48-yard line. A wobbly punt that barely got off. Takes kind of a Kamiakin dead bounce at the 21. And how about this field position for the Kamiakin Braves as they will have it at the Eastmont 21-yard line with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in this first half. I guess that's better than a block in the end zone, Jay, but not a whole lot. There was a lot of pressure. As you said, they were bringing it, the Braves, on that punt.
Well, I mean, Kamiakin's got their running game going, so I wouldn't expect them to go away from it here.
Here's Flynn in shotgun. The freshman, Alta here.
He's getting tackled by his own lineman.
He sure was. The lineman just wouldn't get out of the way for him. And then a host of Wildcats come in on the play, and that'll actually be a loss, I believe, of about 1, maybe 2 yards.
Well, I'm wondering if Kamiakin was seeing how effective that read draw was working for Eastmont, and they're starting to use it here.
That's a good point. Nonetheless, 2nd down and 12 now for the Braves. The ball back near the Eastmont 30-yard line. Flynn claps his hands, and we've got some movement again, yes. And it is a false start on Kamiakin. A lot of penalties for the Braves in this first half. But you'd expect that a lot of times in the first game of a season as well.
Yeah, this is a game you get your timing down as an offense. You start knowing, how the quarterback likes to read and then, make his call. Because you can't simulate that in practice at any point in time.
And I'll tell you, Jay, the farther the Wildcats can move the Braves back here, the better they are. This drive began at the 21. Now Kamiakin back at the Eastmont 34. Clock is moving with 3:19 left to go before halftime. Flynn in shotgun once again. Alta here stays in the backfield. The freshman, fake handoff to him. Flynn looks over the middle, wide open. Beautiful pass at the 10-yard line, and the receiver, he just simply dropped it, Jay. Benson Smith, the senior.
Well, it's one of those things you remember when Brett Favre used to play. He just could rifle it in there, and
Wow.
sometimes it was just too hot to catch, and that was one of those passes. It was a
And remember, we did say Peyton Flynn is a pitcher who's going to play for Washington State, so this kid can throw.
Yeah, that's his fastball right there.
That's
I
the
think that's coming in
fastball.
hot.
Yeah, no slider there.
He's rolling out.
Third down and a mile now for Kamiakin. Flynn airs it out right side over the head of the intended receiver. Wasn't catchable. Doesn't matter the contact at about the 10, and that'll bring up fourth down now.
Well, aside from the one interception he threw, which still ended up being about a 35, 40-yard pass, I mean, he's not showing any lack of arm strength.
Boy, he does have that. You're right.
I mean, there's been a couple of plays.
Fourth and 18 now, Jay, from the 34. Looks like Kamiakin maybe going for it on 4th and 18. I guess their defense has stepped up somewhat here, and they're confident they could hold if they don't get this. Here's Flynn in shotgun on this 4th and 18. 5 receivers in the offensive set. Lob pass, left side. That shouldn't be a catch because the receiver was out of bounds, came back in, and it will be incomplete. And Eastmont will take over on downs.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that play call. I think you want to punt it and try to pin them back within the 10. I mean, I know that's hard to do in high school football, but it's going to be a big boost for the Eastmont Wildcats. They got 3 minutes left here on this drive before halftime. I think they can be able to move the ball down the field.
It seems to me that Flynn's trying to use the height advantage of these receivers on these lob passes. He's just not getting it high enough. It's kind of in Eastmont's range and not where the range where his receivers can get up there and make the catch.
Well, you know, you want the jump ball, but when the receiver's kind of sitting there for over, a half second, waiting to jump, it gives those defensive backs a lot of time to recover and then be able to, you're not necessarily making contact before the pass, but, I mean, you're still getting in that wide receiver's head.
Kalen Massey back in at quarterback as well. He's going to keep it all kinds of room in the middle of the field. 30, still behind the line of scrimmage, fake the pass, and then only gets about 2, maybe 3 yards on that scramble.
The linebacker there for Kamiakin did a good job of not biting on that pump fake. Sometimes when you're a quarterback and you do that little pump fake, you get the defensive guy to jump and lose his feet. But he stayed down and went through and made the tackle.
It almost looks like if Massey would have cut that upfield a little bit, he might have got a few more yards, but it's easier said than done up here.
Most definitely. But, good presence of mind there, knowing that he wasn't, past the line of scrimmage and did, try to get a look downfield.
2nd down and 9 now, Wildcats. Movement is Simpson comes right side. 3 receivers on the right, nobody on the short side of the field to the left. The handoff goes that way. It's Knight. No, it isn't. It's a keeper and nothing doing. In fact, wow, Massey was dropped right there, and a Kamiakin player is down. It was a loss of about 3 on the play. Knight had all kinds of room to run. Should have handed it off that time. What's the injured player? You catch that number, Jay?
It looks like number 78 for Kamiakin.
He is walking off under his own power. It's Tyler Searley, a 6', 260-pound junior for Kamiakin. Good to see him walk off on his own power. 3rd down, 12. Ball at the Eastmont 32-yard line. Approaching 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in this first half. Kamiakin leads it by 1, 7-6. Jay, you've got a few scores for us, too, around the Big 9, don't you?
Yeah, we've got, let's see. Had them somewhere. Yeah, we have Ike is beating.
We'll get to that here in a second, Jay. Here's Massey in shotgun. He is in all kinds of trouble once again. Breaks free of that. The 15 and still trying to break tackles. Won't even get close to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he'll even make the 30-yard line.
That's one of those things. You just got to throw that ball away and avoid taking the hit there.
That's a great point, too. You can't hold on to that ball. Lost. So the 3 plays in this drive, 2, -3, and -4 yards on this possession.
Well, throwing the ball away there, it's just one of those things, it's the first game of the season, and, the hits add up by the end of the year, and it's just one of those unnecessary hits, and you're getting hit by 3 defensive linemen.
So this will be the 5th punt of this first half for the Wildcats. And once again, on to do the kicking is Manny Lopez. There is a timeout on the field with 1:51 left to go. 7-6, Kamiakin, our score. And I think, Jay, by all accounts, much closer than most people would have thought this game would be here at this stage.
It's been a pretty good defensive battle so far. Both teams are showing a lot of, rallying to the football well and really, making sure that no big plays are occurring. I mean, there's been a couple of big plays, but otherwise they've been, doing a pretty good job of keeping it, within 5-10 yard plays.
So let's quickly get those scores in while we have a second now. I know a close one across the river as well.
Yeah, Wenatchee, so far they're up 7-6, and you can be watching that game live right now on the NCW Life channel. Let's see, we have Eisenhower is up 13-7, and Chiawana beating Moses Lake 7-0.
That's a fairly close game, closer than people thought as well.
Yeah, it's high school football. Whenever you're within 1 or 2 possessions, it's always a game.
So here we go, 4th down for the Wildcats, 4th and 15 at their own 29. Lopez back to punt. Champ Grayson is receiving the kick for Kamiakin, takes it at the 32, makes a move upfield, tries the left side, and then hit hard at the 34. Number 2, nice shot there by the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's a small guy, but he's came up. I believe that's Victor Welton. He's come through and made some big hits in the open field so far tonight.
Only a junior, right, Jay? And he does make that tackle, and it will give Kamiakin the football at their own 35-yard line. And a minute 39 to work with. Flynn at quarterback. Looks like Alta here, the freshman, Tuna Alta here, will stay in at tailback. Trips right side, 1 receiver split out left. 4 receivers in this offensive set. Flynn looks right under pressure, and that ball hits the ground, and Flynn hits the ground hard. Once again, Christian Tonga, the 6'1", 260-pound junior linebacker, Jay. That's about the 3rd hard hit he's put on these Braves here in this first half.
Yeah, and then you had the quarterback hitting the ground pretty hard on his throwing shoulder. He looked a little like he had his bell rung there.
Boy, that was a good hit by Tonga once again. Minute 31, minute 30 now. Clock continuing to roll. 7-6 our score. Kamiakin on top. Referees talking about something. The clock now stopped with a minute 26 left. I think they'll add some time on the clock here. We'll see. Not sure what the holdup was to begin with.
They probably kept the clock running. They thought maybe it was a complete pass or something and didn't stop the clock, but...
So we're going to put 1:33, it looks like, back on the clock. So they'll add 7 seconds to the game clock. There it is. As we are just about to halftime in this pretty hotly contested first half of a football game to begin our 2017 football schedule. Here's Flynn back to pass. A blitz and a screen is set up nicely. 40, 45, 50, 40-yard line and out of bounds. It looks like at about the 34. Nice play once again for Kamiakin, and that's Colton Cheelan, the 6'1", 180-pound senior. And a nice gain all the way down to the Eastmont 35.
Well, I was thinking it'd be a good idea to go down this side, but the quarterback there for Flynn, he was looked off on the right side, and then he really just got the cornerback to bite down here on the bottom side with that screen.
30 yards on that screen pass. Kamiakin now in business as we approach the end of the half. And a big run up the middle of the field, 10-yard line, down to the 6. Flag is down. That was Talmadge Jacobson, the starting running back on that carry. But let's see the call here. It may be a hold. Ball was back at the 35. Jacobson ran down to about the 6-yard line, but I think this is coming back. From the spot of the foul, I believe, too, right, Jay?
Well, I'm not entirely sure on the spot.
Looks like they're going to bring it back from the 20, so yeah.
As a coach, that just drives you crazy. There's been a few times now that Kamiakin's had a big play that's been called back on a holding or some type of offensive penalty.
Minute 14 left to go, second quarter. Ball will be placed now at the 30-yard line of the Wildcats. Got to be about the 5th or 6th penalty on the Braves here in this half, too. First down and about 5 now for Kamiakin. Throw over the middle, slung nicely to about the 15 and caught there. That was Benson Smith on that reception, the senior wide receiver, and that'll be enough for a Brave first down. The ball will be spotted at the Eastmont 16.
We got a Wildcat down. Looks like he might have some type of leg thing going on, maybe a cramp.
Boy, that was a pitcher's throw right there, I'll tell you what. Looked a lot like Aaron Rodgers just kind of winged it out there.
Well, and you see how the wide receiver caught it. I mean, he just stopped and tried to just, corral the ball and fall down. There's no real turning up. I mean, you get the first down, just take your yardage.
It looks like it might be Tonga down on the field, Jay. I hate to speculate, but I see an 8 there, and I don't see him standing out with the rest of the
Eastmont. Number 48, yep.
That would be a shame. He has played one whale of a half here for the Wildcats. By the way, this injury timeout brought to you by Confluence Health. A minute 3 left to go. 7-6 Kamiakin. Here's Tonga now. Looks like he will get up off the ground. That's a great sign. And, Jay, it might be a cramp. You know, it is hot, as we mentioned. He kind of walks like it might be a cramp. We'll see.
It's a cramp either in his calf or maybe a little bit of a strained hamstring, one of those two things.
Played a really good first half for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's been all over the place on defense.
1st and 10 for Kamiakin. The ball will be at the Eastmont. It looks like 15, maybe 16-yard line. Looks like Flynn, too, Jay, is getting a little bit more comfortable back there in the pocket. I don't know if he's getting a little more time, but his confidence is definitely rising as we move through this game. Here's Flynn, shotgun. He'll hand it off this time. Jacobson over the left side. Gets 2, maybe 3 yards. And that'll be it for the Braves. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Well, going back to what you were saying, is Flynn, when he's comfortable in the pocket, you can definitely tell because he's only taking those two-step drops and then firing the ball out. He's not when he starts holding on to the ball, that's when he starts getting a little bit more pressure and then not making a good pass.
Brent Womack on the stop, and he's made quite a few of those this half. Here's Flynn now back to pass on 2nd down. Rolls left, has all kinds of time. He's going to come all the way back to the other side of the field, directing traffic, standing at the 20, and he's going to throw it back to the other side. What happened here? And Snyder got his hand on it. Incomplete is the pass to Colton Sheelan. That was a crazy play right there. Flynn running all over the field, couldn't find anybody, and great coverage by the defensive backs for the Wildcats.
Well, he had all kinds of time, but nobody open. And, he rolls out all the way back to the right side there and then tries to throw it all the way across the field. That's a really tough throw to make all the way going across your body across the field.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now. The ball at the Wildcat 12-yard line with 17 seconds left to go in this half. Here's Flynn, back to pass over the middle, wide open, touchdown to Benson Smith.
That was just, going back to it, that's his quick drop and just fire it in there, and it's really hard to defend that kind of pass.
Flynn to Smith for 12 yards. That makes it 13-6 now for Kamiakin. On for the point after attempt is once again Caden Shemensky. 13 seconds left to go, 2nd quarter. Semensky.
A little bit of
good
a
kick, stutter step kick. That took some talent. It's up and it's good.
Lucky for him, it was just a chip shot. So
wow.
Making it in there.
13 seconds left to go, 2nd quarter. Now it's Kamiakin 14 and Eastmont 6. We're back with the end of this 2nd quarter right after this. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium as we're about to end this first half of play. Grant Olson along with Jay Seebeck. Great to have you along tonight on the NCW Life channel. 13.4 seconds left to go. Kamiakin now leads 14-6 on a 12-yard touchdown pass for the Braves from Flynn to Smith. And it's been a competitive first half here from Wildcat Stadium. Eastmont has played a pretty solid first half. Kind of ran into a brick wall late in the half, but all in all have played pretty darn well.
Well, I could see Kamiakin just giving a little squib kick here, not wanting to give up a big return.
Shemansky is on to kick off for the Braves. And he will kick it off. And it's Scaramazino taking it at the 7. Whistles blow. Flag down. It might have been offside on that kickoff, Jay.
Yep. And that's another one of those things is you get your kickoff team even a little bit tired because they just went on a 30-yard sprint, and now they're going to have to do it all over again.
And that'll give either Scaramazino or Jack Knighton a chance to pick up some yards for the Wildcats. I know not much time left, only 13.4 seconds, but you just never know. The ball moved back to now the 35-yard line of Kamiakin. Shemansky will do it again as Scaramazino and Knighton move up to almost the 10-yard line. Once again, Shemansky will do the kicking for the Braves with the lead 14-6. Here's Shemansky to the ball once again. This time it is short kind of a flub kick. You're right, Jay, and it goes out of bounds. It did, I think, just roll on the line out there. Over there, it did come back into the playing field. Well, that'll be another penalty. And that should give the Wildcats a pretty good field position here with only 13 seconds left, but maybe a couple of plays downfield.
Yeah,
I don't think they really want to get crazy here, though, Jay. That's for sure. You don't want a turnover that's going to cost you late in the half.
Well, it looks like Eastmont still got one timeout, so they could try to get something over the middle, or they could try to hit. Their other option would be going to the sideline for another. You want to probably try to pick up about 10 or 15 yards here.
So with the 2 penalties on that kickoff, Kamiakin will give Eastmont the ball at the Wildcat 40-yard line. We had an offside on the kickoff and then a kick out of bounds. Not even a return, and the Wildcats have it at the 40.
I could see them going for a little bit of one of those wide receiver screens here to try to get the guy some open field to work with.
Trips left this time. Massey's shotgun pass over the middle, and it's almost picked off. It's knocked down and then picked back up by Massey, who was then dropped at the 30-yard line. That's a loss of 10, but that could have been a lot worse than that, Jay. Good penetration by the Kamiakin defender that time, and that's Chase Kissel.
Yeah, that defensive player there, he was thinking he might be able to pick that one off and return it. That could have been a big dagger to Eastmont, but luckily he was able to catch the ball and get back down.
Coach Don uses his final timeout with 7.7 seconds left. Once again, Kamiakin leading at 14-6. And if you're Coach Don right now, Jay, the timeout is for what? Are you going to try for an end zone on a play here? Are you just telling your players don't lose the football, take good care of it, or what are you telling them right now?
Yeah, at this point in the season, I mean, you could always try something like one of those hook and ladder plays and try to get, Scarmanzino in some space on the outside. But otherwise, you're probably just going to be trying to get some wide receiver goes. And it'd be just nice to get a quality play here that you, it looks like they're going to be taking a knee here.
I think, Coach Don had a timeout left to use. He thought he'd use it and just get everything kind of organized as they head into halftime. And, Jay, you're exactly right. They're going to take a knee and not take any chances here. 7 seconds left to go in the first half. Eastmont down by 8, 14-6. Massey under center. And he will just take a knee, and that will run out the clock and end our first half. So after the first half of play, as we kick off the 2017 football season here on the NCW Life Channel, it's Kamiakin 14 and the Eastmont Wildcats 6. We'll have more from Wildcat Stadium, including your second half kickoff, after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium, where our halftime score is Kamiakin 14 and Eastmont 6. And Jay, pretty competitive first half. Eastmont coach Don has to be pretty happy in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the way you want to start out. You get the touchdown early, and then you keep it close all the way through half. Unfortunately, Kamiakin was able to, get in on that touchdown right there, right before half. But otherwise, it's been a pretty solid defensive effort from the Wildcats.
6 possessions for Kamiakin in that first half, 7 for the Wildcats. And I think Kalen Massey, the quarterback, has looked impressive, and also Scarmanzino, who we thought would look good, and Devin Snyder. Those 3 players, to me, have stood out, plus Christian Tonga on defense has been lights out.
Most definitely. I think that the key for the Wildcats here in the second half is to not let the Kamiakin's explosive offense kind of get to them. Make sure that they keep into their own pace of play on the offense and maintain the football.
Jay, I think that's a key. Eastmont cannot get down by maybe 2-3 touchdowns or more, and then it could be, the race is on after that. So I think Eastmont has to keep this like it is right now, stay within themselves kind of in this second half, and just play a solid football game.
Well, yeah, but keeping themselves in the game is going to be the important part, because as we've seen, Eastmont definitely has that big capability. Was that 60-yard pass and then the 30-yard touchdown earlier.
So Eastmont will move right to left on your TV screen here in this third quarter. Kamiakin left to right. Manny Lopez to kick off for the Wildcats. And back deep for Kamiakin. The kickoff returners Benson Smith and Tuna Altaher, who I'll tell you is some kind of freshman ball player for Kamiakin. Here's the pick kick by Lopez, and it's in the direction of Altaher, and it goes out of bounds. Not the way Eastmont wanted to start this second half. That'll give Kamiakin some great field position.
Well, this will be a good test for Eastmont's defense. Make sure they can come out of the half rallying and really put a stop here on Kamiakin to not let them get anything going here in the second half.
I believe the ball will be placed, at the 35, right, Jay?
Yeah, that's going to be a good spot for them.
Kicked out of bounds.
65 yards to work towards getting in the end zone.
So their own 35-yard line. Kamiakin, the Braves, first down and 10 as we are just about set to get underway here in this third quarter. 14-6 our score, Kamiakin on top. Peyton Flynn once again stays in at quarterback. The pitcher headed to Washington State next year in baseball. There was a pitcher throw in and out of the hands. That should have been caught. Thane Thomas had his hands on it, the 6'1", 200-pound wide receiver senior. And as Jay mentioned in the pregame, a senior-laden offensive unit for Kamiakin. All seniors, 10 out of the 11 on offense for Kamiakin. Trips left this time, one receiver right side. That's the short side of the field. Handoff this time, Jacobson. Right side cuts it back up the middle. Good tackle at about the 39-yard line. Could have been a bigger gain. But a nice shot that time by Eastmont. Womack again on the stop. He's made a few of those in this ball game. A good linebacker.
Yeah,
5'10" senior.
Kamiakin's offensive line did a good job of blocking down on their guys and giving them an opening.
Gain of about 5, 2nd and 5. Make it 3rd and 5, I should say. And whistle before the play. And this will be on the Braves again.
False start maybe? Or maybe illegal formation.
I didn't see a false start. Did you, Jay?
I didn't see one.
I think it's the latter, which you mentioned.
I'm guessing one of those wide receivers in that trip set on the opposite side lined up in the wrong spot.
That's what it was. Penalty on the Braves. That'll move them back 5 yards.
I've got a feeling that the wide receivers coach for Kamiakin might have a little bit of work he's going to be putting these guys
Jay?
on. I mean, you got to look at the way that Kamiakin's quarterback's been. He's been putting all the passes right on the numbers, and guys have just not been catching it.
There's a false start right there. Number 2 took off way early. No flag. Some hand-to-hand combat as well in the middle of the field. No call. The ball goes incomplete. Nobody home that time. Boy, there could have been a couple of penalties there. Number 2 definitely took off from the line of scrimmage early. And we may have had a little interference in the middle of the field. Nonetheless, it's 4th down. And the punting unit on for the Braves. Just like that, the Wildcats hold. And, Jay, just like you said, that's what they needed to start this second half.
Yeah, get them off the field, keep your defense well rested, and then get the ball back in the hands of your offense.
Christian Ramos to punt it away for Kamiakin. Devin Snyder back deep for the Wildcats. Kind of a wobbly kick. Good coverage downfield by the Braves as well. It's touchdown at the 18. And that's where Eastmont will begin their first drive of this second half from their own 18-yard line. So the Wildcats made it clear that they were going to run that draw read. Kalen Massey, some success at that in the first half. Not so much in the second quarter, or first quarter, Jay. Not so much in the second. So what do they do here now in this second half if that isn't working?
Well, I think you got to get it going again. But then once you do, you got to get a couple of successful plays, and then you start opening up the play option or the play action there for the quarterback to get some wide receivers open.
Massey's shotgun with Jack Knighton in the backfield with him. Handoff fake to Knighton, and it's Schneider on that wide receiver reverse around the middle. Nothing doing there. In fact, a loss of about maybe 4 on the play, back to the 20-yard line. We'll call it 3.
They're getting a little fancy there on offense. I think you need to just hand the ball off to your running back and get him running down.
Or maybe it's time to go downfield, Jay. Let Scaramazino or Schneider race downfield and keep the defense on it. They're all playing a little bit up now. It looks like the linebackers and the defensive backs just cheating a little bit towards that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, sucking them in there right towards the line. 2nd
and 12, ball on the Eastmont 21. Maybe a blitz coming for the Braves, and it is a blitz. Massey under pressure, and he will get dropped back at about the 16-yard line. That's a loss of 5 on that play, so Eastmont going back on this possession.
Well, they did that play action. They just didn't have any blocking up front to give them the time to make it pan out.
And it's not like the offensive lineman, Jay, can't see that blitz coming. You just have to have the personnel to stop it.
It's really hard when you got 5 or 6 guys from the defense coming and you only have 5 guys blocking. There's that one open guy to come in and make a play in the backfield.
3rd down and 12 now for Eastmont. Ball back at their own 17-yard line.
Wonder if we have an equipment kind of thing going on with number 2 there for Kamiakin.
Looks like he might have a shoulder pad issue or something.
Jersey was untucked.
There we go.
Now, I think if he was to find that again, that would be a flaggable.
Ball middle of the field now. Massey shotgun. Here he goes downfield. That's Scaramazino, and it bounces off the back of the helmet, I believe, of one of the Kamiakin defenders, Champ Grayson. Back in coverage. That'll go incomplete, and Eastmont will punt as well. So both teams 3 and out and punts here to begin this third quarter. Just under 10 minutes left to go. 9:59 on the clock.
Well, I think Scarman's, he was open. He had the linebacker coverage, and the linebacker was behind him. The pass just wasn't quite there.
Not enough air under that one, it didn't seem like, Jay.
And, I mean, that's a 30-yard pass. It's kind of hard to make those kind of passes.
This should give Kamiakin some pretty good field position. Manny Lopez back to punt it away for the Wildcats, and inside his own 5-yard line.
Got a flag on the Kamiakin sideline.
Players weren't even lined up for that. It has to be a sideline penalty, and it's the referee.
They're walking over there. They're going to be talking to the coach. There's something on the sideline here.
The coach being Scott Biglin, Kamiakin's coach, been there a few years. I believe that's what that call is too, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah. Well,
you don't see that motion very often.
Well, you got number 2 who just came off the field with an untucked jersey, and you still got that jersey untucked. So I don't know if that's something that they're going to be enforcing. It doesn't look like they're going to take any yardage off here.
All right, so here we go. 4th down, 16. Ball still at the Eastmont 17-yard line. Grayson back to receive the punt at the Kamiakin 42. Here's Lopez with the kick. End over end, taken by Grayson at the 42. Looks left side, stays that way, breaks one tackle, now cuts it back upfield. He's got some speed. He's going to go. The 20, 15, 10, cuts it back upfield, and he won't get there, but awfully close, down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Eastmont's tacklers there, they got downfield, but then they got blocked. They weren't able to get off the blockers and make the open field tackle, and he just jetted right up there and picked up a nice gain for Kamiakin.
56-yard punt return, no flags down, all the way down to the Eastmont 2. And now Peyton Flynn and the offense will take over in great position, as I mentioned, at the Eastmont 2-yard line. 9:41 left to go, third quarter. Kamiakin already on top, 14-6.
Look to see Kamiakin throw a little fade route to the corner of the end zone here on the top side of your screen.
Might be with a much taller Grayson working on a much shorter defensive back on that side. Handoff is going to go to Jacobson, left side. He fights his way in. Touchdown, Kamiakin.
That was a good job blocking on the O-line there for Kamiakin. They opened up that hole down the middle, and he just went right through it.
So Jacobson gets a touchdown. Scores now 20-6.
And that's tough as a defense, really, just to come out there and only have 5 yards to work with.
It really is. 2 yards, as a matter of fact. 2-yard run. Szymanski on for the extra point try for the Braves. Peyton Flynn, the quarterback, will stay in there to hold. As Kamiakin tries to make it 21-6 now. Just over 9.5 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Hold is down. The kick is up, booming through the middle, and it's good. 9 minutes, 37 seconds left to go, third quarter. Kamiakin scores early here. It's now the Braves 21 and the Eastmont Wildcats 6. We'll be back with more from Wildcat Stadium right after this. One play, 2 yards for Kamiakin on a 2-yard run by Jacobson. The point after is good. And our score, it says 20-6 on the scoreboard, but I believe it should be 21-6. 9:37 left to go here in the third quarter. And, boy, Eastmont needs a drive of some kind now, Jay, to kind of get back into this one.
Well, it'd be nice to see another big return on the kickoff, but, yeah, otherwise they just really need to maybe not even score a touchdown here on this next drive, but just keep the ball in their possession, get a couple first downs, and start getting back to, making their offense flow.
Caden Szymanski will kick off for the Braves. Back deep is Scaramazzino and Jack Knighton. They stand at the 10 and 5-yard line, respectively, for the Wildcats. Now it's 21-6 on the scoreboard. Crowd making some noise below us. Here's the kick by Szymanski. And it's taken by Scaramazzino at the 4-yard line. Down the right side across the 20. Dances a little bit across the 22 to about the 25, or he's brought down in front of the Kamiakin bench at the Eastmont 25. And that's where the Wildcats will begin their second drive of this second half. And as I mentioned, I think this needs to be a productive drive. Even if it's not a point-getting drive, Jay, they need to take some time off the clock and move the ball just for a little confidence, if nothing else.
Well, moving the ball for the confidence is one, but then also even if you don't come out with points, you want to be able to pin them back. You obviously don't want them started on the 2-yard line again like they did last time.
Absolutely. Kalen Massey stays in there, at quarterback.
Hands it off. Got a little bit of running room, but he's going to be brought down right back at the line.
So not much running room over that right side.
So it looks like Eastmont's going to be wanting to, get something going here on the offense and see what Kamiakin does. They've been rallying to the football really well so far in this second half. Massey's getting the call from the sidelines, trying to set everybody up here. You got 3 guys down to the left side of your screen. Takes a snap, hands it off, and is it a fumble? Yeah, it looks like a fumbled handoff there. It looks like Eastmont's going to recover it, though. Well, Eastmont is not doing themselves any favors right now. They're looking at 3rd and 15. They're going to probably have to pass it here. I don't know how you could get away with running the football.
Ball out the 20-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and 15 for the Wildcats.
So it looks like we might be getting into a little matchup. Looks to see him go to Ethan Simpson down here on the bottom side of the screen. Passes up. What a catch. Bobbled it and then still came up with it even though the defender tipped it. That's a huge completion for the Eastmont Wildcats. They're going to be getting the ball on the 50-yard line and start moving it into the Kamiakin field.
30-yard gain, Jay, on that pass.
Well, they need.
Hopefully I have my voice back here.
It's one of those big plays, you want to pick up 15 and then you end up, picking up 30. That was an incredible catch. You had the defender come up and tip it and then still being able to have the presence of mind to keep your eye on the ball and just come down with it. Little screen pass here. That might be a live ball. Oh, they're going to call it dead. It's one of those plays where when you have the quarterback, that was pretty close to being one of those backward passes, and if he had dropped that and it was a backwards pass, that would have been a live football, and Kamiakin could have picked it up. Luckily for Eastmont, it was not to be the case.
Ball remains in midfield, and it's 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats.
So 2nd down and 10. We'll see if I can get through this, Jay. I've been fighting off a little bit of a cold, so.
Well, I'm sure all the heat here in the press box isn't helping that too much.
Massey back. He'll do that draw read again up the middle. He stood up at about the 46-yard line after a gain of 4 yards. Good defensive play at a gang tackle by the Braves defense.
Good push by the offensive line there, pushing the defensive line back and picking up those yards.
And this is the kind of drive we were talking about, isn't it, Jay? Just a confidence booster, if nothing else.
Soaking up some clock and, giving your defense a little bit of a break.
Approaching 7.5 minutes now left to go. We are at 7.5 minutes left to go, 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 6, ball at the 46 of the Braves. Massey shotgun. Knighton in the backfield with him. Massey goes left side. A lot of contact down that sideline. Simpson, the intended receiver.
We've seen that twice now where they've tried to go to Simpson and he just gets tangled up with that cornerback. It's incidental contact maybe, but it is a little bit hands-on for when you're 15 yards down the field and still hand fighting with the cornerback.
And that was Benson Smith on the coverage, Jay. And, it's been kind of both teams doing that tonight. It's not just one-sided. There's been a lot of contact on both sides as far as defensive backs go.
Well, especially for Eastmont, they're going to want to be utilizing that ability to make contact with the wide receivers for Kamiakin because those guys are going to be able to catch it and run as they've shown.
So Manny Lopez will punt once again for the Wildcats. He's been busy. His 7th punt now tonight. Stands at his own 40. Gets it away. No pressure. Short, wobbly kick that bounces at about the 30. It does take a Wildcat bounce right in front of Grayson. And it looks like it's down at about the 15 or 16-yard line, and that's where the Kamiakin Braves will take over on offense.
Well, it didn't look to be too good of a punt at first, but they got a really generous roll, about 10, 15 yards there on the roll.
So Kamiakin will have it at their own 16-yard line with just over 7 minutes now left to go here in this 3rd quarter. 21-6, the Kamiakin Braves on top. The defending 3A state champs in town to kick off this football season for the Eastmont Wildcats. And if you're going to play somebody, you might as well play at the top of the barrel first game. Here's Flynn back to pass, and he is buried. Fumble. And I think they're going to say he was down. I'm not sure if he was.
Yeah, maybe.
What is the call here? Whose ball? We do have, it looks like a Wildcat down at about the 7 or 8 yard line. I think it'll remain Kamiakin football. I don't know if I agree with that call or not, but
I think that was one of those Tom Brady rules where his arm was going forward, but I think that was, the ball got jarred out of his hands due to the hit. Should have been a fumble.
Good defensive penetration that time. Once again, Brett Womack, and he has played an outstanding game, Jay, from his linebacker position, number 51.
Yep. Wondering, is that Tonga again?
I'm not sure. No, I see him standing out there. This injury timeout is brought to you once again by Confluence Health. We'll take a timeout as well. 6:56 left to go, 3rd quarter. Kamiakin 21 and Eastmont 6. We'll be right back. 6 minutes, 56 seconds left to go third quarter. Injured player for the Eastmont Wildcats is senior lineman Clayton Harris, 6 foot, 240-pounder, and he is favoring that right leg, Jay. We don't know if it's a knee or an ankle or what it is, but I think it's a little more serious than just a cramp that we've seen a little bit tonight already.
Well, that's going to be a big blow to both sides of the line for Eastmont because he's the starting guard over on the offensive side of the ball, so they're going to be looking to fill that gap now. 2nd
and 16, ball at the Kamiakin 9-yard line. Screen pass and set up at nothing doing on that left side. Good defensive play by the Wildcats on the far side. No gain, I don't think, on that.
Well, Kamiakin's been getting them on those wide receiver screens. They finally sniffed that one out and stopped it before it could get anywhere.
Jaron Snyder on the play. So that'll bring up now 3rd down 16 for the Braves with under 6.5 minutes now left to go third quarter. Flynn back to pass, flings it down left side. It's caught over there at the 33, past the 35 to the 37. Caught there by Colton Cheelan. And I think he may have landed on the football over there, Jay. That's why he's still down. Knocked the wind out of him a little bit. It looks like he landed right on it.
Yep. Yeah, he's hurting over there on the sidelines. This is something you don't want to be seeing for either side as you get some of your key players getting hurt early on in the season.
That's for sure. First game of the season, non-league contest like this is. 27-yard gain, by the way, on that play. Braves first down. Still in their own territory at their own 37. 6 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in this third quarter. Player just off the sideline. I think he needs to move just a little bit farther off for him to continue play here.
Well, the important thing is giving him time to recover. You don't want to make him feel like he has to rush to stand up, and even if he's hurting on the ground.
And it looks like it's a little more than just landing on the football, too,
Yeah.
Jay. Does get up slowly. And hopefully he is okay. Once again, it's senior wide receiver Colton Cheelan.
And he's playing both sides of the football, so Kamiakin's going to want him staying healthy for the season.
That reception on 27-yard gain gives Kamiakin a first down, 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
That was another one of those bullet passes there from Flynn.
Boy, he can throw. There's no doubt about that. Trips right side this time. Jacobson in motion, gets the handoff on the counter play over the right side, right into the arms of Womack again, who makes the stop after about a 3-yard gain up to the 40-yard line. That Womack, 51, has played one heck of a football game. I'm very impressed with Eastmont's defense here tonight. I really have been.
They've been flying around. You see not too many solo tackles, and when they've needed to make those solo tackles, they've been getting them. So
straight off handoff this time to Jacobson. Flag comes flying in from the side judge and the referee.
That'll be a holding call.
Close to a first down. I think about a yard short. Gain of about 6 on the play, but as Jay mentioned, I think it's coming back. Not only one referee saw it, one official, but 2 did.
Yep. And, you know, that's one of those things. It's early in the season. Guys are probably getting a little tired there on the offensive line. And when you get tired, you start holding.
You know, that's a good point, too, especially this first game with some heat out there tonight. Kamiakin moves back. We haven't had an official call yet, but the Braves are moving back. And it is a hold on Kamiakin. Nice break once again for the Wildcats. It was 2nd and 8. Let's see where it's marked off. This should go way back if it's from the spot of the foul in the backfield, right?
Yep, looks like they're going to be sitting 2nd and about 20.
It sure does. Back to about the 28-yard line. And it is 2nd and 20 from the 28. Trips right once again. I think it's the same formation as last play. One receiver left side. That's the short side of the field with Jacobson in the backfield. He goes out into the pass play as well. And it's caught at the 35-yard line by the tight end, I believe. And that's Thane Thomas, a big receiver, 6'1", 210 pounds, as the Braves get some of that yardage back, about 11 yards on the play.
Yeah, and as an offensive coordinator, you're going to really want to be utilizing that 10-yard pitch and catch that you can get between a quarterback like Flynn and then hitting your tight end right on that 10-yard curl.
5 guys out in that pass play that time, Jay. And look at the room these receivers are getting from the defensive back. Flynn back to pass again. Lots of time. Over the middle, almost picked off. Womack was right there by Grayson. He can't believe he didn't get his hands on that, and it goes incomplete and brings up 4th down for the Braves. What will they do here?
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit on Monday afternoon's practice if Womack decides to go start the practice off with the wide receivers. And
I wouldn't doubt it either.
He's going to be thinking about that one all weekend.
So it looks like the Braves will punt it away. Not going to go for it this time. They have tried it a couple of times tonight. Christian Ramos on to punt. Back deep is Devin Snyder for the Wildcats. Snyder standing at the Eastmont 22-yard line. Ramos at the 25 of Kamiakin. Snap's good. Ramos has it. The kick is away. Another fine kick by Ramos. It's taken by Snyder. He bobbles it at the 20 and then is hit immediately. Unfortunate for Snyder. He's still fighting for some yardage. The referee blew it dead, but I'm not sure why, as Snyder kept moving forward. That was a good run by Snyder as he's working against Chase Kissel, another senior for Kamiakin.
They'll be looking to make sure that the guys who are returning these kicks are going to be, fielding them a little bit more clean. Had a couple of muff punts and kicks so far tonight that have really, you don't necessarily say that they're going to pick up some yardage after that kick or the catch, but you got to catch it first. That's the most
That's
important
right. 1st and 10, Wildcats. Kalen Massey at quarterback, out of shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Knighton, and he'll keep it up the middle. There's that draw read. Boy, he felt that hit. A flag comes flying in after a gain of about 7. A nice run by Massey once again on that draw. Looks like we've got a hold.
The hole was there. The right tackle for Eastmont definitely was hugging his defender right there. They're going to bring this one back.
We're talking one of the tackles, either Brennan Cornell or the other tackle, David Villadimos. I think I pronounced that wrong. Valdivinos. There we go.
Well, there's a few names here on the Eastmont squad that the last names are a little bit tough to pronounce. You got to get a little practice with it. First game of the year.
So that'll bring up 1st down 15 now for the Wildcats. Ball moved back to their own 14-yard line with 4 minutes 51 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Kamiakin leads it 21-6. Here's Massey back in shotgun. Knighton back there with him. 2 receivers split out left side. Fake handoff to Knighton. Then the pass is blocked at the line of scrimmage. I think Scaramazzino was the intended receiver cutting across the middle, but it doesn't matter as it's batted down. And that'll bring up 2nd down 15 for the Eastmont Wildcats.
Kamiakin really showing that they're not afraid to blitz right now.
I think they're getting the feeling that they really can't be touched on offense or on defense, Jay. I hate to say that, even though Eastmont has connected on a few big plays, but I don't think they're afraid of the run or those short passes at this point.
I think after halftime they came out and they're over that bus lag that they were showing in the first quarter.
2nd and 15. Now ball remains at the 14-yard line. Screen pass out on the flat. Here's Knighton. Got a block and a nice run past the 20 to about the 21. They're going to mark him down at the 20. A 6-yard gain on that play.
Jack Knighton for that pass reception for the Wildcats.
Looking a little banged up after that one.
Yeah, Knighton is a little bit banged up as another trainer comes running out. Another injury timeout, and it's brought to you by Confluence Health. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left. This looks like it could be a cramp, Jay.
And you see that a lot here in the first part of the season. I mean, you even see that all the way through college in the NFL. You get into the end of the third quarter, starting in the fourth quarter. Guys just aren't in shape for that kind of thing yet. Their bodies just haven't gotten used to it.
Knighton is up quickly. That's a good sign as he's trying to run it off a little bit.
You see the sports med head of staff, Lori Howell down there, and she's going to probably get that little calf roller that they always used to use when I was playing. That thing will just knock that cramp right out.
So third and 9 for the Wildcats. Ball at their 20-yard line. Clock is moving. 4:10 now left to go in this fairly quick-moving third quarter. Massey under center. 1 receiver split out to the right. 2 receivers left this time on the short side of the field. Fake handoff. There's that draw again, and there's that yardage again. Massey across the 30, trying to break a tackle. Does get the first down, though, just across the 30. Needed to get to the 29. And a nice 9-yard run by the quarterback, Kalen Massey.
Well, he was running right at the official right there. If he had cut around him, you might have been able to use him as a blocker, as you'll see some guys do sometimes.
You do see that.
He got a little bit in his way. I think that he might have been able to pick up a couple more if that hadn't happened.
I like the way this junior quarterback looks, Jay. Kalen Massey, pretty impressive junior.
He's doing a really good job of reading the way that the defensive line is coming after him for that read read draw.
1st and 10, Wildcats. Ball at their own 31-yard line. Fake handoff again. Same play, draw read, and nothing doing there.
I'm wondering if there was maybe a little bit of miscommunication. The offensive line, they kind of stood up looking like they were maybe in a pass block.
In a not stop, Brady Volland, a 6'1", 235-pound junior for Kamiakin. First player to make contact with Massey. That'll be a loss of about 2. 2nd down and 12 now for the Wildcats. Ball at their own 28-yard line.
Kamiakin's definitely playing to defend the run right now, so let's see a little play action and see if we can't move the ball down the field.
Boy, they just started really packing it in, Jay. I noticed that right away in this second half. I think that's something they may have talked about at halftime. That's a good time for Eastmont maybe to spread it out, which they're doing now. 3 receivers right side, trips right. Scarmazzino in the slot. Massey back to pass out of shotgun. Gets a couple of blocks, in some trouble now, though, and he's in big trouble all the way back to the 10-yard line. Good defensive penetration by Chase Kissel, the defensive end.
It's one of those situations where you had a lot of the Eastmont linemen were looking backwards by the end of the play. It means that they were letting their defensive guys get past them.
That's a loss of about 14 yards.
I think you run a little bit of one of those wide receiver screens. Just try to pick up a handful of yards and then.
Boy, 3rd down and a mile now for the Wildcats. Ball is spotted. It looks to be at about the 14-yard line. 4th and 29. What do you do on a 3rd and 29? There's the question.
Yeah, well, they're not going to let you throw anything past them, so you're going to have to get something underneath and give your guy a little room to work.
Massey back to pass. Keeps it on that draw read again. That's been really much the only running play the Eastmont Wildcats have run in this ball game, and that brings up 4th down after a gain of 2. And once again, we'll see Manny Lopez on for his 8th punt of this football game.
Yeah, you can't really just keep relying on your quarterback to be the guy running the football.
You can't.
need him to be able to pass it. You can't have him getting too beat up here early on.
So Lopez on to punt it away. Back deep once again is Champ Grayson for the Braves. He stands at midfield, so Kamiakin will get some excellent field position after this punt with 1:20 left to go, 3rd quarter. Bad snap. Good job by Lopez to get it away. Picked up by Grayson at the 50. Stutter steps 45, has some room across the 40. Nice return. All the way down to the Eastmont 37-yard line.
I think one of the Kamiakin defenders may have actually gotten a hand on that punt as it was getting out of the punter's hands.
Another Eastmont player down on that play. This time it's, I think, number 21, Jordan Jessup. 5'5", 150-pound junior getting up very slowly. Once again, this injury timeout brought to you by Confluence Health. 1 minute, 7 seconds left to go here, 3rd quarter. Jay, it was a quick-moving 3rd quarter. Not many penalties this time. We saw a lot of them in the first half, but not many in the 3rd. Jessup comes off under his own power. Another good sign. And you know, Jay, you know very well from playing football, you practice, you get hit, but it's still not like getting hit in a game, is it?
Well, I don't think anytime you're in practice that when you're in scrimmage that any of your guys really want to light you up.
That's right.
It's just totally different when you get it there on Friday night.
First down play for the Braves, handoff up the middle, not much there, maybe a yard or 2. Tuna Alta here, the freshman on that carry. Gain of 1. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Here's Flynn, back to pass, rolls left, has a receiver there. It's caught at the 31 and more across the 30 to the 25 and down to the 20, inside the 20. Nice run after the catch that time. Down to the 19-yard line.
Well, that's one of those things where they had mismatched numbers on the side. You had Eastmont cornerback who you saw chasing after him there throughout the play, but, I mean, he's just sitting out there not covering anybody, so they went to the right side of the field.
First down and 10, Kamiakin at the Eastmont 19-yard line. Handoff, Altahir. The freshman fights for some yards. Eastmont gang tackles him finally at about the 15, gain of 4 for Altahir on that carry. He's been a pretty impressive freshman in this football game, hasn't he, Jay?
He sure has, and if I'm a Kamiakin fan, I'm pretty excited for the coming years because he's going to be there for the next 3 years after this one.
And you still have Jacobson that's playing a pretty good game too, Talmadge Jacobson, the senior. 2nd down and 8. Flynn on the run out of shotgun. Throws on the run. What a pass down to the 5-yard line. Caught there by Thane Thomas.
And that's just a really hard play to defend, especially with a ball that's like that, where the wide receiver is just getting low and catching the ball like that. It's really hard to defend that kind of pass.
Boy, that looked Tom Brady-esque right there, didn't it? On the run, right side, and right on the money. And that will do it for our third quarter. After 3 here at Wildcat Stadium on the NCW Life Channel, it's Kamiakin 21 and Eastmont 6. Fourth quarter action coming your way right after this. 3 quarters in the books here at Wildcat Stadium. At the end of 3, it's Kamiakin 21, Eastmont 6, but Kamiakin looking for more here. First and goal, ball at the Eastmont 5-yard line. Flynn back to pass. Hucks it, hits the crossbar in the end zone, incomplete. And that'll bring up second and goal now for Kamiakin. Boy, that was a throw right there, too.
He had the receiver there. He just sailed it a little bit.
So second and goal. Flynn once again in shotgun.
They got 2 tight ends set right now. I would expect them to run it.
Tuna Alta here in the backfield, and you're exactly right, Jay. Over that right side, stutters or delays just a little bit. It cost him a little bit as well as he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up third down and goal, still at the 5-yard line. It'd be a big stop for Eastmont here if they can hold them to a field goal, that's for sure. A touchdown might put this thing out of reach, but a field goal would help a bunch. We'll see what happens. Third and goal, Flynn shotgun, Alta here in backfield with him. So movement on that line, and there's the flag. Boy, we could see it from up here, Jay. It's Dylan Worcester, the senior tackle for Kamiakin, moving there.
I think what they were trying to do there is get Worcester down there in the one-on-one coverage in the open field down there and give him just one of those fade routes, a little lob pass, and just give him the jump ball. He's got the height advantage on that side.
So that'll bring third down and 10 now, third and goal, but 10 yards to get to that end zone for the Braves. In fact, it'll even come outside the 10. There is another Eastmont player down. You're right, Jay. Didn't see that. Another injury timeout brought to you by, once again, Confluence Health.
What I'm thinking has happened is that Eastmont players looks like they're cramping up quite a bit. What we used to have back when I was playing down there is they would get a giant box of Costco bananas. So we'd just be eating bananas throughout all the games.
No kidding.
And you get the potassium, which helps to keep cramps from happening. And so I think that's what we're seeing a little bit of. And, of course, it's the first week of the season you're going to see.
Was that Coach McGill's idea?
I'm not sure who.
Back in the day?
It might have been McGill's. It could have been a little bit with the sports med team with Miss Howe. And so not really sure.
That's what cramps a lot are. You lack of potassium, right?
Potassium,
it's Tonga
hydration.
again, too, Jay. It's second time now that he has had some leg issues. It looks like a right leg this time.
Yeah, and if it gets to that point, he's going to be one of the bigger players throughout the year. You don't want to be risking him this early on in a non-league game and start cramping up like this. That's when you start opening up the door for strains and tears and that type of thing.
He's coming off looking like both legs are a little banged up, doesn't he? All right, here we go. Third down and goal from the Eastmont 10-yard line. Peyton Flynn in shotgun, back to pass, looking left. Here's that fade pass to the corner of the end zone, a little bit too far, though, and it goes incomplete. And that will bring up fourth down now for the Braves from the 10-yard line.
Kamiakin doesn't look like they're sending the kicking unit out on the field quite yet.
Caden Szymanski is the kicker.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for it.
Ball remains at the 10-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal for Kamiakin.
They are going to go for it, Jay. Kind of a surprise here, but that's a lot of confidence. I don't think it's so much in the offense in general. I think it's confidence in Peyton Flynn, the quarterback.
Look for a little wide receiver screen here again with the 3 on the
Trips left, one receiver right. Flynn back in a little bit of trouble trying to find somebody open. Now just throws it in the end zone, hoping, and he has a receiver. Touchdown! How did that happen? Back of the end zone, Benson Smith, 6 points, Kamiakin.
That just shows his incredible arm strength there. Jumping backwards and throwing the ball that far on the line in a nice spiral is just incredible.
Well, I'll tell you, Peyton Flynn, you said it, Jay. He's got an arm.
That's kind of one of those second baseman or shortstop plays that you see when they're running across the infield and have to throw it back over to first after a ground ball.
Boy, it really is. Szymanski on for the extra point try now. Snapper is Dylan Worcester. Flynn is the holder. Here's the kick by Szymanski. Boy, easily done. It's up and good. 11 minutes, 7 seconds left to go fourth quarter. Kamiakin now extending their lead. It's the Braves 28 and the Wildcats 6. We'll take a timeout and be right back after this. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium and football right here on the NCW Life Channel. I'm Grant Olson alongside Jay Seebeck. 28-6 now is our score. Kamiakin on top, the defending 3A state champions. Kind of pulling away here now in the second half a little bit, but still a competitive football game. And Jay Eastmont needs to put something together here. It goes without saying, I think, at this stage of the game. 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're really going to have to link a few plays together here and move the ball down the field.
Szymanski's kickoff is short, taken by, I believe, Scaramazino. He bobbles it again. Eastmont's had trouble on these returns, both punts and kickoffs. No gain on that return, and Eastmont will begin, it looks like, at their own 19-yard line, exactly where they began the last drive. Fourth possession of this second half. First three have all been punts for the Wildcats. With 11:01 now left in the fourth, we'll see if they can put together a drive and at least pick up, I think they picked up one first down in this half is all as well.
I'd like to see him do a little rollout here and get the quarterback in some space without too much pressure on him and be able to make him, 10, 15-yard completion.
Massey shotgun. Simpson split out right side. Scaramazino on the left. A Brave jumps and then gets back into place on the defensive line. 4 seconds on the play clock for the Wildcats. 3, 2, and they do get it off. Handoff is bobbled and then taken up the middle. It's Devin Snyder on that wide receiver reverse again, and that's been a very productive play for the Eastmont Wildcats so far tonight. A gain of about 12 on first down for Snyder.
Well, it starts off as a broken play there on the fumble, and then he just picks it up when in the chaos and advances the football. That's good heads-up football right there.
A very important first down for the Wildcats here to start this drive. 1st and 10 at their own 32 now. Massey shotgun. Scaramazino this time in the slot right side. Split out wide is Simpson. Knighton in the background. Here's the pass to Scaramazino. Looking for a block. Didn't need it. Cut back inside and gained about 4 yards across the 35 to the 36.
Now what I want to see Eastmont doing is they're lining up the receivers on the short side of the field. I like to see them using the spread offense and use the wide side of the field instead of just getting bunched down on one side.
Yeah, it seems when there are two receivers split out, like right now, Jay, you're right. It's on the short side of the field. That wide side wide open over there. That's where Snyder's been lined up all night on that wide side, tight end kind of spot. Looks like a blitz maybe coming for Kamiakin and movement on the offensive line, I believe, for the Wildcats. And that'll be a false start, I think, on Eastmont. And it is. Just over 10 minutes now left to go in this ball game. 28-6, Kamiakin on top.
Well, back when I was playing, if the offensive line false started like that, they'd do an up-down for every yard, and those keep adding up. They'll be pretty tired on Monday after conditioning.
Second down and 10 now, Wildcats. Ball back at the 32. In fact, that's exactly where it was. Clock running, under 10 minutes left now. And there's that keeper by Massey again up the middle. He's going to feel it tomorrow morning.
He's taking a lot of hits tonight.
Gang tackled right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two. Looks like they'll mark him at the 34, so we'll give Massey 2 yards on that quarterback draw. I still think, Jay, he's the leading rusher so far tonight on the Wildcat team. And as you mentioned, that's not the kind of offense you really want to run unless you got Michael Vick back there or something.
Yeah, it's really tough on a quarterback when you're having to kind of take the offense all into your own hands, and you really want to be able to start spreading the ball around.
The big man Braden Johnson comes off, and he gets an earful from head coach Mike Don. 3rd down and 8, Wildcats. Ball at their own 34-yard line. Snaps on the ground, picked up, and then the pass is dropped by Scaramazino out in the flat left side.
I think if you had held on to that, you would have had some room to work. There wasn't any defenders on that back edge.
And that'll bring up 4th down, and I believe Lopez will be on to punt for the 9th time tonight. 4 consecutive punts on 4 drives here to begin this second half for the Eastmont Wildcats. Now running out of time, pretty much 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 28-6.
Well, to Kamiakin's credit, they've really rallied and started to look pretty good on defense here.
That's really what's been impressive, I think, in this ball game for Kamiakin, their defense. Once again, Manny Lopez will punt it away for Eastmont. Champ Grayson back. Punt is bobbled, and Lopez in trouble. I think he may have dropped the football.
Touchdown.
I think it's dead right there at that spot, but Lopez dropped it on the bad snap, and that will give Kamiakin excellent field position. It looks like at the Eastmont 18-yard line.
That was a risky play, trying to punt it while you're being tackled.
Because at that point, you might as well just go down. You're going to give the ball back anyway.
Well, that's what I thought he did. It looked like it might have been,
Kamiakin in hurry up here too, Jay. 1st and 10 from the Eastmont 34. Or I should say 17-yard line. Handoff. Jacobson up the middle, not touched, into the end zone. Touchdown. First play, 17-yard run.
Yeah, they saw the Eastmont defense was looking a little slow to get set up there. They went with a quick snap, and then they just went right down the hole and put it in the end zone.
Jay, you hit it right on the head. Eastmont defense wasn't even ready for that play. And an easy 6 points for Kamiakin there. 34-6 now, wanting to make it 35-6. On to kick once again, Caden Szymanski. The quarterback, Flynn, the holder, with 8:45 left to go, fourth quarter. Low snap, kick up, and the kick right down the middle, and it's good. 8 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in the ball game. It's now Kamiakin 35 and Eastmont 6. Back with more after this. 8 minutes, 45 seconds left to go, fourth quarter, as we kick off this 2017 football season. It's Kamiakin 35, Eastmont 6. And, Jay, we were just talking during the commercial break. Kamiakin has scored now 3 out of their 5 possessions in this second half and kind of finding their rhythm a little bit, aren't they?
They've definitely found their rhythm. The wide receivers are getting open, but especially their running game. I mean, their offensive line is getting a big push and making some holes that are really Eastmont's having trouble with it.
Here's Szymanski with the kickoff. It's short and high once again as Scaramazino runs up to it, grabs it at the 20-yard line, gets a block initially. Now coming to this side of the field, still at the 20, turns the corner, past the 25, and gets up to the 27-yard line. All that running for a 7-yard return. But it does give Eastmont a little bit better field position, as I mentioned, at their own 27-yard line.
Well, Scaramazino still showing he's got a bit of gas left in the tank. I mean, he was sprinting right there. He was still going pretty fast, even though it was only laterally.
I remember last year doing a couple of Eastmont games. He's a pretty electric football player. He really is. When he get out in the open field, he can make some things happen. Eastmont just hasn't really been out in the open field all that much tonight.
Well, they haven't really tried to stretch the field passing the ball yet, which is something I'd like to see them start doing.
Eastmont will have it at their own 29-yard line. First down and 10. There's that keeper draw again up the middle. Maybe a yard for Massey up the middle.
Well, at this point, Kamiakin's defense is pretty much seen all the different looks from Eastmont as far as that play goes, and so they're able to pick up on it pretty quick.
Carson Talley has been in quite a bit this half too, Jay. We haven't mentioned him much. He's the running back in there. He's been in actually for Knighton in this second half, and we haven't seen Knighton that much at all. Talley, by the way, is a 5'9", 151-pound sophomore. Here's Massey in shotgun. Fake handoff to Talley. Massey's going deep right side, tipped out of the hands of Simpson.
See, what I liked about that, who's that for Kamiakin, number 3, he did a really good job of what you see a lot of cornerbacks do is they go for the interception. What he did there is he made sure he just got a hand on the football, made it so that the wide receiver couldn't make a play on it.
And we know who he is. That's Tuna Alta here, the running back, Jay.
That's who it is.
What a player this freshman is.
Promising career starting off good this early.
Boy, isn't that true. 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats. Ball right at their own 30-yard line. Clock moving at 7:45. Massey shotgun, looks near side. There's Scaramazino on an inside screen. Scaramazino, there's that speed up to the 45-yard line, and a first down for the Wildcats. And may I say, a much-needed first down on that gain of 15 yards.
What I like about that play is that, you know, it's a big gain but it's a short pass, and it's a real high percentage.
I like that play a lot.
It gives your guy a little bit of opportunity to work with his legs as he did there and made the most of it.
And it gives Massey a confidence completion.
Mm-hmm.
1st and 10, as I mentioned. Wildcats now at their own 45. Fake handoff. There's that draw again up the middle. Massey, another first now across the 50, I should say. 6, maybe 7 yards for Massey.
It was a good read on that play, but you can tell he's getting a little bit tired after running all these plays right up the middle.
It's got to be about 50 to 60 yards rushing, I would guess, right now. Pretty darn close to that. A nice game for the junior quarterback. 2nd down and 4 now. Ball at the 49-yard line of the Kamiakin Braves. Massey shotgun, 2 receivers out right side. Here's Talley, that reverse up the middle to Snyder, and nothing doing that time. Big play and a big hit by the linebacker for Kamiakin. That's number 55, Christian Ramos. He's the kicker, 6'1", 230-pound senior.
There's a lot of big boys over there on the Kamiakin side of the football.
Boy, there really are. A lot of, maybe not 300-pounders, but a lot of solid 240, 250 on that defense.
Well, it's the ability to move with that much size is really the key. You got to be able to have the quick feet.
3rd down 7 on that loss of about 3 back in the Eastmont Wildcat territory. Here's the pass. Massey over the middle, just off the outstretched arm of Scaramazzino. That could have been 6 right there at about the 30. Instead, goes incomplete. And once again, another punt here for the Wildcats. This will be the 5th punt on 5 drives this half for Eastmont.
But that's the right play call there. I mean, you didn't pick it up, but it's still, you got to be trying to stretch the field right now.
And just off the outstretched hands of Scaramazzino, who isn't very tall, at about 5'7". Maybe if he was 5'10", he'd have caught that, Jay.
It's kind of one of those, what the England Patriots always do. They got the Wes Welkers and the Danny Woodheads.
Oh, that's
true.
true.
Short, quick guys.
And Amazola. There's the punt by Lopez. A low punt picked up by Grayson at the 10-yard line. Jukes and jives, but can't get away and makes it up to about the 12. So a 2-yard return for Grayson, and that's where Kamiakin will start at their own 14-yard line.
Well, they got 6 minutes left here in the game. Kamiakin's probably going to go away from passing it, even though their quarterback's hot, but they're going to want to be running the ball, get the clock down. Eastmont's going to really want to be getting the 3-and-out here.
Would you start thinking about maybe getting Peyton Flynn out of the ball game right now too, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, you got other players, behind him that are be good to get him some looks, but
in fact, Flynn is out of there, Jay. Is just as we talked about, it looks like number 8 now.
Yeah, he'll be handing the ball off here.
No, it isn't 8. Let's see if we can get that number here. We will after this play. Flags are down and won't even be running. It is Flynn's still. No, it isn't. It's number 14 now in there, Jay.
Yep.
That's Lucas Castellea. Castellea, only a sophomore, 5'8", 140-pounder. We'll see him the rest of the way. Castellea. So it looks like we'll try this again after a 5-yard penalty moves the ball back to the 9-yard line. 1st and 15 now for the Braves. Here's Castellea on the keeper. Might have been a face mask right there. No penalty flag down. As Castellea gets to about the 19, in fact, no, the 14-yard line, just back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a good little pickup for the backup quarterback there. A little confidence. I can't expect Kamiakin to be passing the ball at any point from here on.
Boy, I can't really either, Jay. I'd be really surprised as we approach 5.5 minutes now left, 4th quarter.
Well,
Lucas Castellea claps his hands, gets the snap, a low snap, hands it off to Jacobson, left side. He has some room, lowers his head at the 20, gets a couple of more yards because of that, and that might be close to a 1st down. And that was George Ramirez on that carry, 5'8", 185-pound backup running back. He's a senior.
He's a pretty good size for a 5'8" and 185-pound.
He sure does.
He kept a pretty good low momentum there and was able to drive right through that tackle.
Gain of about 5. That'll bring up 3rd down and 1 now for the Braves. 4:59 left in the ball game. Castellas looks for some room. Boy, nothing there. Eastmont read that beautifully, and that was a 3rd and 1. That'll bring up 4th and out and about 4.
Looks like Kamiakin's wanting to go for it here.
Boy, that's very surprising at this stage of the game.
Yeah, at this point you should probably be kicking it.
Very, very surprising. It's 4th down, and what would you say about 3? From the Kamiakin 21-yard line, and here comes the punting unit now. That's the right call by Coach Biglin.
Well, they only got 15 seconds here on the play clock, and they might be calling a timeout.
12 seconds, 11, now 10. He's going to have to, I think. 8 seconds, 7. Once again, the punter is Christian Ramos, 1-0, and that's going to be a delay of game penalty. So that'll move Kamiakin back 5 yards, back to their own 16-yard line. It'll bring up 4th and 8. And they do call timeout. We'll take one as well. 4 minutes, 3 seconds left to go. Fourth quarter, Kamiakin 35, Eastmont 6. Back after this. 4 minutes, 3 seconds left to go. Fourth quarter, Kamiakin 4th down and 3 from their own 20-yard line. Ramos on to punt. Devin Snyder back deep for the Wildcats. Snaps good. Here's the kick. High, wobbly kick. It's going to bounce right about at midfield. Takes a Kamiakin bounce into Eastmont territory and will be down at the 46-yard line. That's where Eastmont will take over this drive. This is their 6th drive of this second half. 5 punts in this half. No points yet for the Wildcats after scoring right away in their ball game. In fact, on the first possession of the game, and Eastmont hasn't done a whole lot since then. They were in field goal range, Jay, on the 4th possession of the first half, and it was blocked at the line of scrimmage. And that's been about it offensively for the Wildcats tonight.
Yeah, and what they got to be working on right now is just, working out what's left of the kinks. They got to be starting putting some plays together and just keep the ball in their possession.
Massey back in shotgun, 2 receivers left side. Tally in the backfield, pass out in the flat, and not much there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And the Kamiakin defense all over that screen. The receiver was Kaya Devilar, I should say, 6'3", 150-pound sophomore.
Yeah, getting those short passes, it's going to be good for getting down the wide receiver quarterback chemistry. Looks like we've got a QB change here. Maybe?
Carson Everhart is in now, 6'4", 165-pound sophomore for the Wildcats. Tall quarterback out there. 2nd down and 10, ball at the Wildcat 41. Everhart, hands off. No, he doesn't to Tally. There's that quarterback draw, and nothing doing there. In fact, a loss of 2.
Yeah, they're going to have to start getting some different play calling than that one. Kamiakin's already figured that play out by now.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 12 now for the Wildcats. Ball will be back at their own 39-yard line. Clock moving, 2:50 now left in the ball game.
Well, let's see if the Eastmont O-line can get a good push here. And they're really going to have to start stretching the field.
Once again, Carson Everhart in at quarterback. Handoff. And he gives it to the back around the right side with some room. Strong running across the 50 to the 46 of Kamiakin. And that's Manny Lopez, 5'8", 200-pound senior.
Hey, he's going to be a tough guy to bring down if he gets the ball in open space like that.
I like that run right there. 1st down Wildcats. Now inside Brave territory at the 46-yard line.
That was a bit of a high snap there. You practically caught it out of the quarterback's hands.
Boy, Lopez, look how solid he is down there. It might give him some more touches here as this season progresses.
Most definitely.
Lots of substitutes now coming into the ball game for both teams. I'll try and keep up as best I can. 2 minutes now, approaching 2 minutes left in this one. Carson Everhart remains in a quarterback in shotgun. Ball at the Kamiakin 46. Everhart, handoff right side. Not much there to another substitute, I believe, in the backfield.
Is that Lopez again?
It is. Manny Lopez, you're right.
Well, he's a pretty solid, low-to-the-ground runner.
He really
might see him
is.
getting a few more snaps in the weeks to come.
5'8", 200 pounds.
Well, it's one of those things when he's that much shorter than, the average linebacker, but he's got the same size. It's pretty hard to bring a guy down when he's that much
And he can
lower.
kind of hide amongst those linemen too, can he?
Gives you that time to feel out the holes.
2nd and 9. Ball at the Kamiakin 45-yard line. Everhart, pass out in the flat. I believe that's Tally out there. Left side, broke the initial tackle he did and gets close to 1st down yardage. He might be about a yard short. Gain of 8 for Tally, and that pass from Everhart over the left side. That'll bring up 4th down and about 2. Oh, 3rd down and 2, I should say. Excuse me.
I think even if it was 4th and 2, they'd probably be going for it.
They would. 50 seconds now left to go in this one. Was pretty much decided on that first possession of the second half by Kamiakin. Here's the snap. Fake handoff to Lopez that time. The pass over the head of Tally and kind of behind him. Incomplete, and that stops the clock with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a miscommunication on that route. I mean, the wide receiver wasn't really looking for the ball. I mean, it doesn't help that the ball was thrown behind him, but he wasn't really looking back to the quarterback when he was making that cut.
I think you're right, Jay. Just not on the same page on that pass play. 4th down and 2 now. Ball remains at the Kamiakin 38-yard line. 35.5 seconds left to go. Carson Everhart in shotgun. Replaces Massey at quarterback. Lopez, no, it's Massey or Everhart that will keep it. And that quarterback draw, I don't think he's going to get there, Jay. Even this forward progress, the spot doesn't look like he's going to make it.
Yeah, well, they're going to be punting this one, huh?
Or turn it over on downs. I think that was 4th and 2.
Was 4th down.
So that'll give it back to Kamiakin. And I wouldn't expect they would do much but take a knee with 26 seconds left in this one.
Yeah.
And a 35-6 lead. So the defending 3A champs will start off 1-0 in this season, and they've got a pretty tough schedule playing in that Mid-Columbia Conference, Jay. They'll play Richland, they'll play Chihuahua, they'll play Pasco, and I'm sure they're all going to be tough this year. Southridge, also a very good team this year. That's a good conference.
Yeah, what I'm going to be looking forward towards the rest of the season if I'm Kamiakin is making sure that you get out and get out of the gates good, because
absolutely
it came out a bit slow, and Eastmont was taking advantage of it early on, but they ended up figuring it out.
So Kamiakin does take a knee, and that should just about run out this clock, and I think it will as both teams come onto the field. And that will do it here from Wildcat Stadium. Our final score tonight, first game of the 2017 season, is Kamiakin 35 and Eastmont 6. We'll take a quick timeout, come back and wrap things up from Eastmont High School right after this. Back to Wildcat Stadium, where our post-game show is underway, and our final score, Jay, is Kamiakin 35, Eastmont 6. Kamiakin comes out and scores 3 unanswered touchdowns after halftime. It was 14-6, still a ball game at the break, but Kamiakin's strength really showed in that third quarter. They kind of wore Eastmont down and moved the ball kind of at will on offense. I think they scored on 4 of their 6 possessions in that second half.
What I think might have happened there at halftime is that, the head coach for Kamiakin probably got on the offense a little bit, got a little fire into them, and they came out and showed that they earned that right of the defending champs right there. They really came out strong in the second half.
And I think Eastmont and Coach Don talking to the team right now out on the field, they have a lot to build on from this game. They started out very quickly, scored on their first possession, hung tough in that first half. And I don't know if it's a combination of Kamiakin just had a lot of great players and Eastmont wore out a little bit, or maybe both, or just a better team, Kamiakin, here tonight, especially in this second half.
With Eastmont, they did what I thought they needed to do. They started off with a strong running game in the game, but by the end of it, Kamiakin had pretty much figured out that read draw pretty well. And so it'll be interesting to see how Eastmont kind of, evolves after that. They're going to try to need to open up the playbook. That read draw is going to be a good option throughout the rest of the year, but they need to use that to then open up the play action and start making some openings for their wide receivers down the field.
And I think next week is a perfect chance to do that, Jay. Mount Spokane, not the winningest team in the GSL, that's for sure. In fact, they've struggled for wins the last 5 or 6 years, and that's who the Eastmont Wildcats play next on the schedule. In fact, it's a Thursday game next week, September 14th at Mount Spokane. And as you mentioned, I think that's a great time to kind of work on things before they hit the Big 9 schedule on Friday the 22nd with Moses Lake right here at home.
Yeah, and I think Eastmont should be pretty happy with the way they played defense, especially in that first half. They were really locked down. I mean, Kamiakin was able to score that touchdown right before the halftime, but otherwise Eastmont's defense did look pretty good. And, Flynn, he's like we said, he's going to go play college baseball, so the kid's got an arm.
Wow.
It's going to be tough to play cornerback and safety against that kind of caliber of quarterback.
So that'll wrap it up here from Wildcat Stadium. Game number 1 of our long sports schedule. It'll take us right through the fall and winter here on the NCW Life Channel. Great to have you along. Our final score, Kamiakin Braves 35 and the Eastmont Wildcats 6. I do want to thank our cameraman, producer, director. What else does he do, Jay?
Well, just about everything that you've seen on the camera here.
That's Uriah Darby. Thanks to Uriah, and thanks to you, Jay, for joining us tonight.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm Grant Olson. Hoping you have a great night. Thanks for being here, and have a great weekend as well. And please join us again coming up for more Eastmont Wildcat football right here on the NCW Life Channel. Good night.
Thanks for joining us for Eastmont Wildcat football on the NCW Life Channel. This broadcast has been presented by Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Town Nissan, Collins Fashions, and Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Bringing local sports to you, we are the NCW Life channel. Thanks for watching.